everyone. A very good morning to you all. Welcome to the first lecture of Performance Management paper of ACCA. I hope all of you are doing well. This is Anushka Jain, CA and ACCA, your mentor for the Performance Management paper. We are going to be in touch for the next 2.5 months to cover the entire syllabus of this subject, and we'll be, getting in touch with respect to the course content, with respect to the queries or concerns that you keep on facing. Okay. So what we will do is we will start off with a quick round of introduction. First about myself, then about you all, and then we will get in onto the introduction of the paper as to what it constitutes of. Okay. Are we good? Are you able to hear me? Perfect. All right. So you have this chat box functionality with you, right? Wherever I ask you something, you can make use of the chat box. You can type in whatever I ask you, or if you want to ask me something, you can chat in. Okay. All right. So I am Anushka. As I said, I qualified as a CA first in 2017, and post that I have been working with MNCs. My first job was with Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages, which is your Coca-Cola, and then I worked with Penorica India. Penorica India is the largest liquor company in the world. They're just the second largest. It keeps on changing. So it has got the popular brands like Chivas Regal, Royal Salute, Valentine's. So I handle the regional finance of the company, of the regional northeastern region. So basically, I belong to Guwahati, and I joined Panorica India. And post that, I joined Flipkart, which you all might be aware of, the a commonly known e-commerce company. So I was handling the business finance bit of Flipkart, right? So at that time, I was based out of Bangalore. And very recently, like a month back, my ex company, that is Panorica India, they called me back to join them again. So now I have moved back to Guwahati, and I am now the head of finance for the Northeast region, handling the regional sales office. Okay. So that's about my corporate journey. And in the middle of all of these work experiences, I took up the ACCA course. I took it up in 2019. So since I was a qualified accountant, CA, I qualified all the levels in the first attempt. I had exemptions for 9 out of the 13 papers. So basically, I had to appear for just the 4 strategic professional level papers. And I gave my first paper, and that was Advanced Financial Management. Okay, that is commonly called as AFM. That was the first paper, and that was also the paper I got World Rank 2 and All India Rank 1. Okay, so it was a very good start to the journey. And then that was my attempt in June 2019. Later on in September 2019, I gave the papers of SBR and SBL together. And finally, in December 2019, I gave the paper of APM, which is the advanced version of the PM paper that you are going to study with me now. Okay. So these are the 4 papers I attempted, and I qualified all the levels in the first attempt itself. And I qualified in December 19. So to the educational front, I'm a CA and an ACCA. And at the work front, I'm currently working with Panorica India as the regional sales finance head for Northeast office. Okay. So yeah, as I said, I am based out of Guwahati, and I really enjoy coaching. So I have been associated with VGLD for the past 4 years. At VGLD, I teach 4 papers currently, and that is PM, APM, FM, and AFM. Okay, so we are also going to start off with the FM batch in this week itself. So I am going to teach that as well. So weekends will be with you, and the weekdays will be with the FM students. So normally I ask that, if voice is breaking, is it breaking for all? Are you able to hear me? Trey is saying no. Are you all able to hear me properly? It's clear, no? Okay. Uh, Sorry, who said? It's audible now? Okay. Just check it, Shweta. Just check your internet connection once. My internet speed seems to be fine from here. Maybe it could be a small lag. If you're able to hear me fine now, then let me know. Is it fine? Just excuse me for a second, please. The past 4 years now, and I'm teaching a lot. I mean, these four subjects, and just to tell you, a lot of my students have got world rank, global rank, and as recent as the December 23 attempt, um, my student that is for AFM, that is her name is Rupam. She got world rank 1 and all India rank 1, of course. So she was the prize winner for the AFM paper, the very paper I got world rank 2. So it was a level up for me as well, that my student got a rank which was better than me. So, and then APM also, we got a world rank 8 this time in December attempt itself. So it's been a very good going journey. If you're studying from Vishal Pal sir, also he was also one of my students, and he also got a very good rank in the AFM paper. So it has been a journey with a lot of ranks, a lot of good feedback from the students, and I'm sure and I hope you also enjoy the journey as much as the others have already done. And please feel safe and secure that you are in good hands. I'll always be there to mentor you with respect to your concerns. Okay. I mean, I have been in touch with a lot of students post their qualification also, like, maybe with respect to how they're doing in their jobs or something. So it's not like just we are associated with this paper only. Consider me as your mentor, not just as a teacher. Consider me as a mentor for the journey of ACCA. And whatever doubts that you have, whatever doubts that could be there in respect to the paper, it could be as silly as why is it so, or anything, any type of doubt that you face, you are free to ask it to me. Don't feel shy that it could be very simple doubt, why should I be asking? It's your time, it's your precious time that you need to utilize properly and ensure that all your concepts are crystal clear, right? So with that thing in mind, we will start off the classes. It has to be a two-way communication, not just a one-way communication where I keep on telling you stuff. You can also share your ideas. So sorry. So a lot of times, I'll tell you, when I am teaching a particular concept, there have been so many inputs from the student side, which I also learn during my classes. So I really appreciate whenever students also come back to me in the chat itself, right? That ma'am, this is one of the example of what you are teaching. Okay. So be participative. Don't just sit idle and just with your hands laid back. No, sit with an active mind, sit with an active mindset, and just be very patient, be very focused in the class. We'll all be fine. Okay. Just to let you know, we are going to cover the BPP. Okay, there are two approved publishers for ACCA, and that is BPP and Kaplan. We are going to do BPP in our curriculum. Now, I'll keep on sharing the common concerns which I get from my students during the time. So a lot of students, what they do, they'll study from BPP also, they'll study from Kaplan also, and it becomes like a mammoth paper. Ma'am, we're not able to complete the syllabus. You have to understand that the curriculum is fixed. Both of them are approved by ACCA and both of them are covering equally well. So stick to one content. Okay, so what you have to stick to is the BPP workbook for the PM paper, the BPP PR kit, that is the practice and revision kit, and the class notes. These are the only three things which you would be needing to pass your exam. We have a very good pass rate. So, I can assure you, if you're just very good with the concepts that we are going to learn in the class and the study material that I am telling you right now, you will surely pass the paper. Okay, don't just keep on running helter skelter that I'll do this also, that also. It just messes up. you start to get confused, because I'll tell you, the subject may be same. I may be teaching it in some way, and then different books could be covering it in different ways. Answer would be the same. Final answer would be the same, but the process could be different, and this actually leads to some sort of confusion. Just to avoid that, I'm telling you what we are going to do. We are going to stick to these three things which I've just called out. That is the BPP workbook, BPP PR kit, and the class notes. Okay. I give a lot of homework. Okay. Homework will be from the BPP PR kit only. Okay. So I give a lot of homework post the completion of a few chapters. Like we have completed 1-2 chapters, and then I'll give you the questions which you need to practice from the PR kit. Okay. Are we clear? Any one of you who has studied from me before? So I'll tell you, there was a time when I used to teach BT also at the knowledge level. Any one of you who has studied from me earlier, BT paper? Any one of my past students here? So I have a few students. So we have Swayam, who has studied BT, Apurva also, Shahid also. Right. So all of you have qualified, of course, I'm assuming, because now you are at the skills level. So I'm assuming all of you have passed, and I hope you all passed with flying colors. Right. So I have a few students. There was a time when I was taking BT paper, and then I moved to the other papers which I just told you about. Okay. All right. So on that note, now I will shift the podium to you all, whereby I would request all of you, just give me a small introduction about you. Okay. Your name, I can see, mostly I can see the names of students only, but at some places, like for example, there is one. Okay, I think no, I guess most of you have logged in with your names only. There is one person logged in as HP. Just I would request you, whenever you log in next time, or whenever you're sharing your introduction, just tell me your name also. Okay. So I can see your name. What I want you to all do is type in your introduction. You have to tell me where you are in your ACCA journey, how many papers you have cleared. Okay, if you're from the exemption route, you can tell me that also, that ma'am, I'm coming from the exemption route. Then whether you hold any other qualification, or you're pursuing any other qualification side by side of ACCA, and if you are working anywhere, you can just tell that to me also. Okay. And also I would want to know, where are you from? Which city are you from? Okay. So please, let's just start with your introduction. I'm going to read out your messages so that everyone else also is able to hear you. So Yash Gupta writes, hi, my name is Yash and I'm from Delhi. I'm an MBA finance and have more than 7 years of experience in the finance domain. Talking about ACCA qualification journey, I enrolled with 4 exemptions and then cleared FR and just gave audit and FM. Just gave audited FM. So you're doing it. I mean, you have already given the paper, Yash. Okay, so you're repeating the classes just to understand, like what's the reason that you're repeating the classes now? Okay, next message is from Jahid, CA Foundation cleared, and ACCA 6 out of 13. So all right, so you have done a few papers at the skill level also. Very good. 6 paper exemption. CA Finance doing 3rd year of articleship at BDO from Kerala. Very good. Chait is from Punjab, just gave audit. I'm a 12th pass out in 2023. That's a very quick, very good start to your career. Shahid, that you've started immediately after class 12. So you are head starting your career very soon. Very, very good. Then Swayam writes, cleared 5 out of 13 papers of ACCA, cleared FRMA in recent go in September and December. Very nice. Akhil is a BCom and a CA final student, and he has got 6 exemptions. Okay, sorry. I think I messed up. I read it wrong or something. All right. So you have given audit and FM. Very good. Very good. Vriti is from Gurgaon, and I'm just pursuing BCom honors from DU. All right. I've got exemption, and this is my first subject for ACCA. All right. So I'll just tell something that I see that you are a very mixed crowd. Some of you are already in the ACCA journey. Some of you, it's your first paper in the ACCA journey. Don't worry. Okay, that there are some people who are who have the experience of ACCA. Nothing to worry. I will teach as if all of you are very young. I mean, all of you are at the very young nascent stage of your journey in ACCA. So I'll teach everything like that. Don't worry about what the other person has done, what he has or she has not done. Just be yourself, be comfortable, be candid in the class. It will be all fine. All right. Apurva is pursuing BCom honors, and after 12th, I chose ACCA. And for the recent attempt, I gave FR, my first skill level exam. Apurva is also from Punjab. Very good. Trey, I have exempted 5 papers as I'm doing BCom honors. I'm the first year of BCom honors. Very good. Suraj is from Hyderabad, pursuing BCom right now. This will be my first ACC exam, and I've got 5 exemptions. Very good. Ritu is from Delhi. It's first exam. Got 5 exemptions. Very nice. Tabriz is having the first paper. Got exemptions based on BCom and CA Inter first group. Working in Dubai right now, and I'm from India, Maharashtra. All right. So you already have work experience. I mean, I see that you're working. Sumedha, this side it's my first attempt and first exam only, and I'm on basic level. I'm 18, BCom honors undergrad. I plan to do CFP further. That's very interesting. Mithila has done BCom and has exemption in 5 papers. This is my start in the ACCA journey. All right. Okay, no problem, Akhil. Don't worry, it's never too late. I'll tell you, I have so many students, who are, I mean, in the later parts of their age, but it's never too late. Whenever you start, what matters is that you've started it out, and I'm sure if you're dedicated enough, you're committed enough, you will clear all the papers, and it will really, really give you a boost in the career. Okay, so it's never too late. Yes, exactly, Yash. So, I mean, you'll see a lot of students. Yash and Akhil, a lot of the students they are at this age bracket. It's never too late. Ravi is from Vadodara, new to ACC exam. I've completed LLB and BCom. That's a very nice combination. Okay, so we have lawyers, right? Law students in the class. Okay. Mawson is from Mumbai. Currently pursuing an ACCA, also working in the CA firm. Very good. FR cleared, just given FM. Very nice. Okay, so I understand that you have a very big, we have a very diverse group of students here. Ishita has done BCom and MCom from DU and B.Ed also. Okay, so you have, interest in teaching also, Ishita. Got exemption for knowledge level, cleared FM recently, gave AA and FR. Okay. So I see a lot of you have given exams. So a lot of you are approaching the exam for the first time. It's a plus for all. Okay. Um, all right. So on that note, we will start off, which is very nice. I mean, it's okay now. You're starting on a fresh slate. You're starting on a fresh slate. It's always so like when I was doing C, I was just doing C at that time. So now you just focused on one course. And when you're done, if you want, it's not necessary. Also, I'll tell you frankly, if you are smart enough, you don't really need multiple qualifications. Qualification, I'll tell you why it is needed. It's a good entry point. Okay. Let me check my internet once again. Is everyone facing a problem? It's clear. Audible now? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, exactly. I think some lag could be there. Okay. All right. So what I was saying is that qualification is a good entry point. When you start off your career, it's a good entry point at that time. Post that, it's all your skills and knowledge and experience and expertise which gives you the ladder to rise up in the career. How you are good with communication. I personally feel communication is unmatched skill to head up in the career. Okay, the way you, it's not about speaking fluently. Don't mistake communication with speaking fluently. It's about what you are saying, how empathetic you are, how understanding you are, how you are able to articulate yourself, what is your understanding of a particular matter, and how well you are able to make your audience understand and come to level of that. So all of these different skills sorry, all of these different skills is what sets you apart in the career. So don't start chasing multiple career options together. Stay focused and just believe in yourself that you are on the right track, And I'll tell you, with respect to ACCA, so many openings are coming up. You will see a lot of posts from the big fours, mostly from the big fours, and a lot of MNCs also. They come out with a lot of vacancies for ACCA, and also sometimes with the internship positions also. So just rest assured that it's a very good qualification, very prestigious qualifications. It's very old as an accounting qualification. So you have to have faith in yourself and your capabilities. And what I do in my classes is I share a lot of practical examples from my work life. Okay. Because if I just keep on teaching you the normal content, now it becomes boring and mundane. I don't want that to happen. I'll keep on sharing my personal experiences. And if you also have experiences to add, feel free to put it in the chat box. We will cover that also in the class. So it's going to be very interactive, very practical focused. We'll cover the entire syllabus like that. Okay. So on that note, let's begin. So Milna has a query that is the syllabus same to SEMP paper of CA, or is it vaster? I'll tell you frankly, it's a little different. Some overlap could be there from those papers, but it's not exact replica, because even when I started off the APM paper after at the strategic professional level, after I qualified as a C, I thought it would have similarities, but it's not like that. It doesn't have exact similarities. Some concepts, I'll tell you, very small concepts could be overlapping, but otherwise the syllabus tends to be a little different only. Okay. Okay. So on that note, let's begin. So I'll tell you these class notes which I'm showing you here, right? So for each chapter, I have a PDF or a PPT which I will share with you, and I will also share with you the Excel version. So all the practical questions which are there now, are the exercises that we will be solving in the class, all of it will be done in a Excel file. And the class notes, I have taken reference from the BPP workbook only. Okay. So, or sometimes I've added wherever the content was not in an easy way, I've added content from my side, but mostly the content is based out of the BPP workbook. So, what I'll be sharing across with you is this class notes, okay, the slides, and the Excel workbook. So, after the chapter is completed, so once, for example, if the introduction slide is complete, and then I will share it across with VGLD admin team, and then they will share it and upload it in a Google Drive for you. So no need to take photos or anything. You will get everything. Whatever is discussed in the class, you will get it. Okay. So on that note, let's begin. So what is the overall aim of the syllabus and where it lies in the hierarchy? So basically, PM has a base in the MA paper, the management accounting paper at the knowledge level. Some of you might have studied it at the knowledge level, and some of you might have got exemption for it. Nothing to worry that if you have not studied the paper and if you have taken exemption, we will cover all the concepts, whatever is the brought forward knowledge also. Okay. So PM paper is there at the skills level, and at the final strategic professional level, we have the APM paper, which holds some overlap of or some interrelatedness between these papers. Okay. So the aim of the syllabus is to develop knowledge and skills in the application of management accounting techniques to quantitative and qualitative information for planning, decision making, performance evaluation, and control. What it is saying is, so you have to understand, you have to put yourself. So I keep on telling it in my classes, put yourself in the shoes of a management accountant. Assume that you are working for the company. Okay, you're working as a management accountant in a company, and you are performing the necessary calculations, you are applying your skills for planning, decision making, performance evaluation, and control. Okay, PM is the middle exam in the management accounting section of the qualification structure. Management accounting concerns just techniques, and APM thinks strategically and covers environmental factors. PM requires you to be able to apply the techniques, the techniques that you would have studied at the MA level. It requires you to apply these techniques and think about their impact on the organization. So, as a management accountant, so there's a topic called variance analysis. Okay. So, variance analysis, it involves a lot of calculations. Now, at a skills level, okay, you're not required to just perform calculations. You're also required to explain or assess the impact of particular variance on the organization. And for that, it's very important that you assume yourselves to be a part of that organization, whichever the question relates to. Okay. So that is the overall aim of the syllabus. What is it? There will be a lot of management techniques, management accounting techniques. You have to apply them and assess their impact. That is the overall uber agenda of this syllabus. Okay. Wherever you face any doubt, anything in the slide you don't understand, or anything which I'm saying you don't understand, just pause me right there. Put it in the chat box, ma'am. Please repeat. I'll repeat it for you. Okay. It's all right. We have a very big class. People learn at different pace. It's not like all of you will be equally paced. Some of you may be fast, some of you may be slow, but we have to ensure that all the entire class moves together. Okay. So if you feel that you are not able to grasp the point, just pause me and then I'll repeat or explain it in some other different way. Okay. So it is a computer-based exam. So all the skills exams are computer-based exam, and some of you might have already attempted such exams. I saw you have attempted FM, FR, a lot of different papers. Okay, so applied skills exams are all computer-based exams. What is the approach to examining? There is no choice in the syllabus. All exam questions have to be answered. So there will not be like they'll give you some 20 questions out of which you have to appear for 15 questions, nothing like that. If there is a question in the exam, it has to be mandatorily answered. There is no choice. There's no option. Okay. You must therefore study the entire syllabus. There are no shortcuts. Okay. A lot of you will ask me, ma'am, tell me the important subject areas, tell me the important chapters. I'll tell you the same answer in the end also. I'm sure some of you will later ask me this question again. There is nothing I can tell you as important or unimportant. ACC does not follow any trend. Okay, that a particular topic has been tested in, let's say, December attempt, and it will not come again in the March paper, or March questions will not come in the June papers. Nothing like that. It can get repeated. New concept can get tested, and there is no such trend that they follow. Yes, theory will also be tested. We'll come to that. I'm going to discuss this table now. So basically, in your exam, there are going to be 3 sections. Okay. It's 50-50. So it's, yes, 50-50. Like some bit will be theory, some bit will be practical. So there are going to be 3 sections in the exam, section A, B, C. Okay. Section A and B, they will have objective test questions, which you commonly call as MCQ, but these are not just MCQs. Okay. So these are called objective test questions. Now let's cover section A first. So there are going to be 15 questions. Okay. And each one of them will carry 2 marks each. So total is 30. Now let me clarify something. A lot of students later ask this to me. Okay, so I'll tell you, sometimes you might have to select 2 options out of the given options. Your both the options need to be correct for you to earn this 2 mark. There is no partial marking. Okay. As I said, Shrey, there is nothing to worry. I will cover the syllabus areas or as if no one of you have done MA. Okay. Don't worry about that. I'll explain all the concepts as if you're learning it for the first time. There's not going to be any difficulty. All right. So what I was saying is there are going to be 15 questions of 2 marks each. And you have to answer it completely correctly to earn the marks. Okay, there's no partial marking that if you have selected one option correctly you will get 1 mark. There's nothing like that. It is computer marked. So section A is computer marked. It's submitted. When you submit the paper, it gets evaluated by the computer only. There's no human involvement while checking section A as well as section B. So both of these sections are computer marked. Okay, so total 30 marks is are these types of questions. That is the objective test questions. 15 questions of 2 marks each. Very shortly, I'll just show you a sample paper also so that you understand what I mean by an objective test question. It's not like something imaginary. I'll just show it to you. But just let's first cover what all are the contents. So that is section A. Section B is going to have 3 questions. But here, please understand there is going to be a scenario. A small scenario will be given. So 3 scenarios will be there. And within each of these scenarios, there will be 5 questions pertaining to that scenario. So 3 scenarios, each scenario will have 5 sub-questions. And all of those questions will pertain to that scenario. Okay. So 5 questions, again 2 marks each. So each of these 3 questions, they will carry 10 marks. So 10 into 3 is how much? 30. Okay. I've got a message in the chat. Let me read. Ma'am, I'm giving my PM exam in September because I have boards in June and I wanted only for, and I applied only for 1 paper PM. I wanted to ask if I should apply for 2 papers or 1 is okay. Okay, good question. Suraj, again, it depends. I'll tell you very frankly, it depends on how much time you're able to devote to ACCA studies. So there could be some students who are able to devote 8 hours per day to this course, and some of you might be having college, or you might be working. You might be able to devote just 3 hours per day for the syllabus. So it all depends on how much time you will have until September every day. It's okay if you cover 2 papers also. Like it's very much easily doable, but you will have to test your own. Okay, so you come under the 3 hours category. I'll suggest you one thing. But you have to be dedicatedly doing that. Okay. I'll come to your question, Chet. First, I'll complete Suraj's query. So what I'll suggest is you take up 2 papers. Okay, you have a lot of time. It's almost 6 months that you have. So 6 months for 1 paper, I feel it would be too much. I don't want you to waste your time also. So take up 2 papers, but be in touch. That, for example, if you decide to take up FM paper along with this, so as I said, we are also doing FM paper, course from Monday to Friday at 7 to 9 a.m. So the classes from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. If you decide to take that up, you complete the syllabus, at least the first round of revision and everything with the classes, which I will keep on guiding you. And then later on, just keep on revising both the subjects. So that will be needed. If you're able to do it, then you can definitely, do 2 papers. But if you're not, able to commit your time, or if you're not sure how disciplined you would be, then I would suggest go for 1 paper. But I feel that it could be some type of a wastage of your time, which I would not have done personally. I think you can take up 2 papers, but just judge it for yourself, how much time and dedication you will show. All right. Okay, Shahid has a doubt, ma'am. How much time is needed per day for PM for June attempt? Good question. So I'll tell you one thing. We'll have weekend classes. Okay. So the normal class time is 10 a.m. to 2:30. Today was just an introductory class, so I have set it up at an unusual time of 2 o'clock. But normally our classes will be 10 a.m. to 2:30, so approximately 10 hours per week. Okay, that's your time with me. And post that, you will get the class notes and you will have to do self studies and the homework. So I would suggest for the initial few weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it will be very easy going. Maybe it's just needs just 1 hour per day where you can just quickly revise the concepts. But post that, when that pressure starts to build up for your exam, when you'll have your exam in 6 weeks time or something, then you will have to gradually increase your time, maybe to 3 4 hours per day. Okay, and during exam it needs to be about 8 to 10 hours. Last week, last 10 days of the exam, it needs to be at that level. So you need to gradually pace it up. I'll not start studying from today only 8 to 10 hours per day. It's not needed. Being very candid with you. Okay. So you have to gradually pace it up and you will do that along with me. I'll only keep on giving you that much homework. You will have to devote that time. So it will happen automatically. So nothing to worry about there. Okay. Uh, Shrey has a doubt. Ma'am, has to become ACCA member, 3 years of work experience needed. If I start my work with any CA firm, it is calculated as work experience or not? Ideally, it is. Ideally, it is, Shrey. So you will have to get it approved by the CA. So, like I had also done CA first. So I had done my articleship during my CA tenure, right? So the same 3 years of articleship got counted as my experience requirement. So it is sufficient, but you align it with your chartered accountant that you are studying this course and he will need to approve it on the portal. Okay, Shrey? All right. Will there be any weekday classes? Usually not, but on some holidays. For example, if there is a holiday on a particular day and we feel that we can utilize it. See, I'll tell you, the sooner we are in the syllabus journey now, that's why I start my class immediately after the exam is over. What I feel is when we are having a good head start now, when we have completed a few chapters very soon, it later it will give us more time to practice more questions. Okay. So that's why sometimes whenever there will be a public holiday, for example, like I kept a class on the Republic Day. So whenever there is like a public holiday, I might keep it. Mostly 98% of the time it will be weekend only. But some days it could be on weekday, but it will be discussed with you all and it will be informed to you before that. Okay. For C article, what should be the position mentioned while entering details in work experience? Position mentioned. I think I just mentioned articled assistant. Um, I don't remember it right now, but mostly it should be that only. Like you can just mention articled assistant. That should be sufficient, Milna. This live classes is only on weekends. Yes, Vinayak, the live classes are only on weekends. Mostly, as I told you, some classes could be there on weekdays also, but it will be on public holidays only. Nothing like abruptly ad hoc, I won't keep. If there is a holiday, I'll keep it. And I'll inform you also. Uh, okay. So, okay, there are no tests per se. It's because it's not possible to mark you also. So, what I would give you, like, it will be the practice questions. And so, when I'll teach you all of this, how to approach the questions also. So, I'll just give you a glimpse of it. What you will be doing when you solve those questions is you take up a question, you solve it on your own, okay? And then you match it with the model answer, okay? If it's right, it's right. If it's not, okay, and you're not able to understand a particular question, you come back to me in the class. Okay, ma'am, I solved this question in this way, but I could not get the answer right. Or the answer which is given in the book, I'm not able to understand. I don't think it is right. So that is what we will be doing with respect to the questions. Test per se, there is not, but towards the end of the syllabus, when we are done with the entire course, there will be a mock exam which all of you can write, okay? And that paper you can submit to me for review. So that is towards the end, but not like in between of the syllabus. Okay, next is Shahid. I have CA foundations in June. So will it be okay to do this paper in June? I still need to complete the syllabus of CA foundation once. Okay. I think you'll have to decide this on the basis of how much time you need to give for CA. Actually, as I said, I told you the time it will require 10 hours of classes per week. And per day, after in the initial 2, 3 weeks, it will be mostly like a 2 hour per day job. And then it goes up to 4 to 5 hours, and then it goes up to 8 to 9 hours towards the last 2 weeks or something. So that's how it is going to be. Uh, you can devote 3 to 4 hours per day. Then you should try it, Chayat. It's not a rocket science that it will be too difficult. Um, be dedicated, okay? You are your best judge. You would have seen your educational journey also, how far you have been, how much time, how much dedication you can give. According to it, you should ideally give the exam in June. But I'll tell you why of this. Because when you are taking the classes, okay, everything is like a fresh cake in your mind. Okay, it's everything fresh. You're listening from me, and I'll tell you, listening gives you the best type of learning. When you have listened so much, now it stays in your mind. Now, if you wait for another 3 months, it will start to evaporate, which is natural human tendency. So to avoid that, I'm saying you should try to give the paper in June itself. It is doable, very much doable. Okay. Next is when we'll be able to start revision. Very good question. Very soon to ask, but so I'll tell you. Mostly now, just let me open up the calendar also 1 second. So we are in March right now. It's 9th March, and you all will have your exam in June. Okay. So the exam week is this time 3rd to 7th June, right? So you will have exam is on 6th June, right? So we will mostly finish our syllabus around 18th to 19th May. That's the max we will stretch. And mostly these two classes will also be like a practice class. Syllabus mostly will get over by like 12th and might extend. See, I'll tell you what happens now. I don't commit a date because it depends on the pace of the class. I can come to the class, I can just start as a parrot and I can deliver everything. But I want you all to understand. So whenever I get queries, I address them. So the end date actually depends on what is the pace of the class, how fast it is able to understand, or if it is getting doubts. It's okay to get doubts now. I'm not discouraging that. But I'm just telling you that it gets, the class pace actually decides the larger, but never it has extended beyond it. So mostly it will be like an 11th to 12th May or 18th to 19th May. So you will get about 15 to 20 days to study it on your own completely. Okay. So that is why, that is how it is planned. All right. Next is ACC has a lot of scope in UK. I'm not sure if you have all seen the ACCA jobs portal. I'll also show it to you. There are a lot of vacancies which come in from the UK. So you can try that out. In fact, the vacancies are listed country wise. I'll show it to you today only. Uh, Suraj says, ma'am, I'm giving my PM exam in September because I've boards in June and applied only for 1 day. It's fine. Suraj, I'll tell you what. Anyways, the lectures will get recorded. If you what you're suggesting is completely fine, that you can start off with one paper at this point of time, and when you feel that you are able to grasp and you're able to just understand the concepts properly, then you can plan for the FM paper. It's completely fine. Then you can fast pace it later on. You can quickly do it later. You'll get the recorded lectures, and also so for each paper now we keep the doubt classes before exam. Also for whatever papers I take, I keep the doubt classes. So as I told you, I'll finish off your papers by let's say 18th, 19th. So I'll keep doubt classes for the other papers for students who will be watching the recorded lectures of that subject. So that whatever doubts that they have, they can also, address to me live in the class. So if you choose to watch recorded lectures also later on, you can, what I suggest is all of you. And again, this is also to some all these students who will be watching the recorded lectures of this particular subject later on. So what you have to do is, you can just keep on studying in the class. What I do is, whenever the student faces doubt, I ask them to ask it to me in the class itself, because that particular doubt could be there for other students also. So when I address that doubt, other students' doubt could also get closed in that way. So you keep on studying in that manner, and whatever doubts that you have, you keep them noting down. Don't worry about it. You keep them noting down. And whenever we will have these doubt classes, I keep very long, multiple sessions also if needed. So whenever there are doubt classes, you can ask it to me. Okay. And also something which I'm telling you personally, as a student, I'm saying this, find yourself a study buddy. It could be from this group itself, the class students that are there. We have a very good bunch over here. So find a partner for yourself. When you study along, okay, the small doubts, it's very minuscule doubts. So you can be in touch with each other. You can address, each other's doubts, and it becomes like a very smooth path. So find yourself a study buddy in the class. It could be from this class, or if you have other contacts out of this class also. But study along. When you keep, we used to do it as children when we were young, doing class 8, 9, 10 studies. But it should be something that you should do now also. You can keep, understand how you are faring in terms of the syllabus coverage. You can compare and then understand, maybe I'm lagging behind somewhere, or if the other person is lagging behind, you can come up to speed. So find yourself a study buddy in the class and keep on studying along with them. Okay. Uh, yes, as I said, Suraj, so you can do that. What you are saying is completely fine. So you take the live classes now, and later you can, if you want to join the FM batch in between, you can join that batch in between, or you can watch the recorded lectures later. It's completely fine. Study hub practice helpful. Yes, it is helpful. You can practice the questions from there. It's completely fine. Akhil is saying recording of the class will be available. Yes, yes, yes. All the lectures are recorded. Okay. All the lectures are recorded. You will get them on the LMS. The lectures, so normally the weekend classes lectures, like Saturday, Sunday batch, the lectures get uploaded by Wednesday. So that is how it is done. So you'll get the lectures, recording of all the lectures. So Apurva, that is also fine. If you want to do it like that, like you take live class per PM and later you watch the recorded lectures, it's also fine. But I would just suggest, if you're doing it now, don't get out of touch of the syllabus. Don't get out of touch of the syllabus. So what happens now? You have done the syllabus a quarter back, 3 months back, and then you feel that now you're going to start the studies. The gap actually, it just makes the things a little, I would say, it gets a little old in the mind. You don't remember the concepts properly, and then that causes problems. So I would really suggest, if you are taking the classes now and you're going to attempt the paper later on, keep in touch, keep on revising regularly so that you don't forget what you have learned in the class. Okay. So Vaishnav, as I said, the time which I've mentioned now, 1 to 2 hours now, 3 to 4 hours later, and later during the exam, 8 to 9 hours, that would be sufficient for a working professional. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. ACCA portal, it needs to be uploaded. So there's a form which needs to be uploaded, Shrey, that for getting the professional experience. For June attempt, there are no such changes. And so this class, what we are studying right now, there are no changes. Whatever we are studying, it's comprehensive. Okay, and I'll just show you a couple of things now. I'll quickly complete this slide. I'll just tell you what all I'm going to show. I'm going to show you a question paper. I'm going to show you the ACCA jobs portal. And I'm also going to show you from where you can see the amendment. So if you're planning to appear for the exam later on, anyways, I'll tell you very frankly, PM paper does not have many amendments usually in the history. Also, I'm not seeing many big amendments coming in. So I'll just show you from where you can see the amendments also. Okay. All right. So now let's just complete this. So yeah, I was saying section B I covered, right? That there are going to be 3 scenarios, and each of these scenarios will have 5 questions of 2 marks each. And then we'll have section C. So section C, that will be constructed response. In other words, these are the subjective questions where you'll have to type in your answers. Okay, so it's not like a selection that you have to make. You have to properly type in paragraphs for this. So this is total. There will be 2 questions, 2 into 20, 40 marks. So don't worry, it's not like 100% theory part. There could be long calculations also, which they could be asking in this section. Okay, so it will be a mix. It may be a mix. I'll say sometimes now they could be completely theory. Sometimes they could be completely practical also, and sometimes there will be a mix. So there could be 3 permutation combination over here. So these 40 marks, these are properly where you have to type in your response on the exam sheets. Okay, so that is how the paper is structured. Are we clear on this? Section A, 15 questions, 2 marks each. Section B, 3 questions, 3 scenarios with 5 questions each of 2 marks. Okay. And section C is constructed response, 2 questions of 20 marks each. That is 40. Okay. So the total marks is 100. All right. So on that note, let's come to the what you have to do. You have to go to ACCA. Do it along with me, okay? I want all of you also to access it together with me. So ACCA practice platform. Type it in Google. Okay. So click on this past exams and question practice. Okay. And then click on this login to the practice platform. Please tell me if you've reached till here. I haven't clicked on it. Let me know whenever you do. So type in Google ACCA practice platform, click on the first link, and you will see this option, log into the practice platform. Please tell me when you have reached here. Done? I'll give some time for everyone to be till here. Done. So now what you do, you click on this, okay? Log into the practice platform. Okay. So you will have your user ID password, right? Type in your username and password. And then click on sign into my ACCA. You will have your own unique ID and password. So type it and click on sign into my ACCA. Are you with me so far? Have you reached at this spot? What you should do now, you should actually bookmark this. You know, you can just save it as a bookmark. I have already saved it. I already have practice platform as my bookmark. So just add it as a bookmark over here. So whenever you want to access it, you don't have to follow the long process of typing in ACCA practice platform and all. It will just openly, I mean, you can just open it from here directly. Okay. So just bookmark this and you will land here. Now, let me show you the paper. Okay. So performance management, I'll click on performance management. Then ACCA official resources. And then I'll click on practice exams. Okay. So you would be seeing here assign button. Okay. So you just assign. Let's assign ourselves the March 2024 mock exam. So before every exam, as I was saying now, like after the course is complete, you will have to appear for the mock exam. So before every attempt, a mock exam is released by ACCA. Like this is for March 2024 attempt. So when you attempt it in June, you will get PM pre-June 2024 mock exam. So always remember that you have to solve it before you go for the real exam. I was in interaction with Rupam also. As I told you, she is one of the students who got world rank 1 in the AFM paper. So I asked her how many mocks you solved. She said she solved 3 mocks. I have always suggested in my class go for minimum 2. What is a mock exam? See, as the name suggests, it's like, a mock of the real exam. So what you have to do is when you are going to attempt it after the course syllabus is complete, I'll tell you, don't, I am going to repeat this later also, but just keeping you, in loop, that when you attempt for this mock exam, sit as if you're sitting for a real exam. Okay, as if those 3 hours is there. You're sitting on a laptop with for 3 hours with no interruptions and disturbance, and in one go you have to appear for the paper. So what you have to do is just go on this PM, and for your attempt, they will just take this down, March 2024 paper. They will take down, and then they will upload the June paper. So at that time, what you will have to do is, we are going to do it now for the March 2024 exam. I'll just show you the paper also in this way. So assign it. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. It will be available. But as I said, it will be available by Wednesday. So if you drop now, you might actually face problem while doing tomorrow's class. There could be some linkage problem because we are going in a flow right now. So there could be some problem when you study tomorrow. So if possible, try to stay back. If not, rest assured the recording will definitely be provided to you. So there will be an LMS where it gets uploaded. Okay, Akhil? All right. So click on this, click on assign. You also keep on doing it along with me. Click on assign, and then I have opened a lot of papers, so all of this is showing. So just go and click on pre-March 2024 mock exam and click on start. Okay. So they will tell you what this mock exam is. It's just how the live exam will be structured and assessed. All right. So let's click on next. They're going to show you all the instructions for the exam. But I'll only tell it to you right now, so you don't really have to read it. You may read it later. Okay, when you have to read it in detail, you might consider reading it later, please. So I'll just click on next. You can read through all of this. Click on next, next, next. Now, this is the exam summary. So as I was telling you now, section A, 15 objective test questions, each were 3 marks. Section B, 3 OT cases. As I told you, these will be scenario based. So 3 OT cases, each containing a scenario which relates to 5 OT questions, each worth 2 marks. Okay. No, you can't download it in PDF, Mohsin. Okay. And then section C, as I told you, there will be 2 constructed response questions, and each will be worth 20 marks. So total 40 marks here. Then I'll click on, you just have to scroll down first before you move to the next page. So scroll it down and then click on next. And then you click yes. Now section A will pop up. Let me just quickly show you a few questions from section A, and I'll also tell you what all things are there on the practice platform, and that will be there in the exam also. So your real exam will be timed. Mock exams are not timed. So this is section A. The first 15 questions are objective test questions, right? So Z is company. You'll learn it later. I'm not going to, solve it properly here. So total 3 hours, Shri. Okay, so this is a type of question and you have to write it. What is the return per bottleneck hour? So as I told you, it's not MCQ. These are properly objective tests. You don't have to type in proper paragraph answers, but you have to type in the number here. Okay, so what is the return per bottleneck hour for the product to the nearest dollar? So they'll always tell you how much to round off. So for example, you're getting 120.56. Okay. So what will be the rounded off number to the nearest dollars? 120.56. What will you put in the answer? I've told you a random number. Absolutely right. So let's say I have put in 121. Okay. Because I have to answer it to the nearest dollars. Remember, it is going to be computer mark. If you write, for example, if you write 120 point, so it will not allow only, the input does not match. But if you write somehow, let's say it is asking you two decimal places, so your answer has to be correct up to the two decimal places also. So be careful about that. So 120.56, I will round off. Acha, tell me one thing. How will you round off 120.45? What will you write? 120 or 121? Let's check your maths now. No, you have to write to the nearest 100. Shrey. You can't write 120.5. Absolutely right. We'll write 120. You might be thinking, ma'am, why are you teaching us class 5 maths? But it's very important. Students get confused in this. So if the number is 120.45, you have to remember you'll be seeing 4 for rounding off that number. So 4 will get rounded off to 120.45 will get rounded off to 120. Okay. All right. So on that note, so you'll type in your answer like this. It's not like a selection that you have to do out of A, B, C, D. You have to type in your answer. So there will be such 15 questions in different formats, not necessarily you type in everywhere. Now, for an example, in this one, in this next question, 120.5 will be 121 will now. Yeah. So which two of the following are advantages of introducing a beyond budgeting process? So as I told you, there could be questions where you have to select two options. So what are you going to select? Whatever the answer is, I'm randomly selecting something, okay? I'm randomly selecting this. Both your answers should be correct to earn 2 marks. If any one of your answer is incorrect, you'll not get any marks. You'll get 0. It's not like you will get 1 mark. Not like that, okay? So you have to select both the options correctly. If it is asking 3 options, then all the 3 options have to be correct. It's like that. Okay, so this is also a type of objective test questions in section A. Then, again, similar to the previous question. Now you will see a few things over here, and these few icons. So let me just quickly show it to you. So if you want to highlight something, okay, not much needed. I wouldn't want you to, actually do it in an exam to waste your time, but I'm just telling you what features are available to you. So this is a symbol feature. If you want to, okay, some days you might, when you're typing in your answer, if you need to type in a particular currency, mostly it will not come handy, but I'm just telling you that these 5 currencies are available to you to put it in a chat box. I mean, in the answer box. Okay. Then we have a highlight tool function. So if I want to highlight it in yellow, okay, I'll just highlight it like this. So now if I want to highlight this, I can simply click on this also. Highlight, it will do the same. But if I want to highlight in different colors, I can highlight using this. Okay, now if I just click on this again and highlight, it will keep on copying the same highlight color. Okay, so these are both highlight options. Then strike through. So while reading the question, if you feel that some part is irrelevant and you don't want to get confused by it later on and you want to cancel this part, just click on this, strike through. It gets cancelled off. Okay. Then calculator. Very good that we're discussing it now. This is the type of calculator you're going to see in exam. If you go for the digital calculator. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely, what do I say? Don't do it. Don't ever use this digital calculator. Go for a physical calculator. You're allowed to carry calculator in the exam hall. Be it remote exam, be it center-based exam, you will be allowed to carry a calculator. So carry your own calculator. Do not depend on this one. Just imagine, even if you have to do like 89 plus 2, what is equals to this? This is how clumsy it is. Okay. You can use a normal calculator. The basic, you won't use this scientific functions. No, so don't go for a scientific calculator. So the exam rules, they say you can carry any calculator which does not store text. So all the normal calculators which are available in the exam in the market now, like the KCO and all of those brands, so you can use those calculators. You can use scientific calculators, but it will not come useful for you. Like being students of PM, it will never come handy. You won't use all of these functions like sine, cos, and all. Go for a basic calculator which commercial. I mean, you would have seen in commercial markets. That's enough for you. Okay, so carry it in the exam. All right, so coming back, calculator I've shown you, and there is a scratch pad. Now, ma'am, what is a scratch pad? Sometimes while you're reading something, again, avoid using it much, but it's actually useful in the remote exam, because in the remote exam now, you won't get a physical paper. You will not be allowed to keep any paper on your desk in a remote exam. But in a computer, I mean, the center-based exam, you will be given a rough sheet. And I would suggest that you go for a center-based exam, give it a preference. It is actually better. Because while you're giving, I'm not saying no to remote exams, I'm just saying the preference ideally should be for center-based exams. Because all of those internet connectivity issues, the invigilation issues, dropping out of exams and all, those types of tech issues you won't face in a center-based exam, which you might face in a remote exam. So make your choice. There are a lot of videos also available on this, how to make a choice. So I also have a YouTube channel by the name of Anushka Jain. I also keep uploading such videos. Normally, I would suggest you go for a this center-based exam. So Medha, what is a remote exam is basically you don't have to go to a center. You can write your exam from your home itself. There's no examination center. Your home becomes an examination center. That's a remote exam. Okay, and center-based exam is your normal exam. There will be an exam center. There will be already computers, desktops, and keyboards over there. You just have to go and write your exam over there. That is how it is for a center-based exam. Okay. All right. So that's the difference between remote and center-based. Remote is when you can give the exam sitting at home, and center-based is when you go to the exam center. All right, coming back. So Scratchpad, it's like a rough sheet. It will not get submitted to the examiner. Okay, you can type in whatever you want to. It will not get submitted. Okay, it's like some scribbling that you want to do in exam while you're reading a question. You feel that if I want to note down my thought or else I might forget it, you can note down such thoughts over here. Clear? So that is a Scratchpad. Because I've discussed all of these. Okay, now for example, now when I'm solving this question, I am not very sure on the answer of this one. So let me be very clear. There is no negative marking in the exam. So I would really suggest you attempt all the questions. Okay? You attempt all the questions in the exam without the fear of a negative marking. But while writing the exam, for example, I was approaching this question, but I don't know the answer to this. So what I'll do, I'll select whatever I feel could be the right answer, but some people or some books might say otherwise, but I'll tell you a trick. Some say that, leave this unanswered, flag it for review. Okay, flag for reviews, you will get a flag for this question later on. I'll show you where you will see the flag. You will see a flag against this question. But I would suggest one step ahead of this. Select one answer. Whatever you feel could be the closest to the correct answer. So, for example, I feel this is the correct answer. But I'm not very confident. Honestly, I've just done a guesswork over here. So I'll select it. And then I will click on flag for review. Okay, so see, if I just remove it, the flag goes away. If I click on this, flag comes. So I will flag it for review. And then I'll click on next. Okay. Whatever the next question is, it will come up. Select whether each of the following are examples of information primarily used for strategic or operational purpose. So you just have to select the boxes like this. See, there are different types of question. Like it's not a proper MCQ, it's like you have selected these boxes. Okay, and now all of the answers. Okay, be careful. So here there are 6 parts to this 2-mark question. All of your answers have to be correct for you to earn the 2 marks. If anyone, let's say you have solved incorrectly, your entire 2 marks will go. Okay. So you click on next. So these are all section A questions. Now, again, like an MCQ. So all of these similar types of questions, I'm not reading them. So they're similar. I'm just trying to show you the different types of questions that could be there. Okay. So you just have to select one option. So if they want you to select more than one option, then they will always specify it in a bracket. That select 2 options, select 3 options. They'll always specify it. If there's nothing specified, you just need to select one option only. Okay. Click on next. Next. Let me just open up this. Okay. Now I was showing, that where you could see the flagged portion. See, I flagged this particular question. It will show me here in the navigator bar. I clicked on this, navigation. So navigator, you will see this flag over here. So whenever you are done with solving all the questions, you can come back to this particular question and review your answer. If you want to change it, you can change it. Anyways, you can change any answer until the last moment of the exam. So you want to change something, you can change it. Now, these are all the 15 questions of section A. Okay. Now, similar to this, there is a section B. Now, let's come to this one. So there will be 3 OT cases and there will be 5 sub questions to it. Now, this is the first OT question. Okay. So the first OT question, if you see, this is the scenario. Okay. The following scenario relates to questions 16 to 20. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5 questions. Okay, this one scenario. And this is question number 16. You can see it over here also. Okay, which question is this? Question number 16. So question number 16, this is the question, whatever you want to answer. Again, see, it's an objective test question. Which 2? You have to select 2 answers over here. So you have to select both of them correctly to get the mark. I've selected randomly. Then I click on next. Again, see, they will keep on showing you the exhibit over here, the case study over here. The question has changed. Now it is question number 17. Keep following my arrow, okay? So this is question number 17. Now calculate the cost gap per phone on the new. So here you have to type it to the nearest 0.001, that is up to 2 decimal places. So 0.01, 0.01. So whatever your answer is, 123.45. Now if I type 6, 7, something I'm typing. Although you're typing it, your answer will be wrong only. Because they have asked you to type it up to 2 decimal places. So you just type it up to 2 decimal places, but it has to be correct. The decimal places also have to be correct to get you, for you to get the full marks. Otherwise, it will be 0. So whatever it is, I'll click on next now. Okay. Again, here you have to select, click on next, click on next. Okay, same 16 to 20, HD company only. Now, when I go to question number 21, now see, the scenario has changed. It is now HF Dresses Company. Okay, this is the question, and here you have to type in your answers. I'm sure now you're getting a feel. So, this type of an exhibit will be there of a company. It will be like a scenario that this company does this, it has got this division, it is what it has been in business for this many years, it has been doing this. All of the necessary details, it will be given to you in the exhibit. Okay, so this is section B. Now, I'll just show you quickly section C questions also. See, section C, what did I tell you? There will be 2 questions, right? Now, these 2 questions may have subparts to it. Okay, so this is what? Question number 31. This is the exhibit. Flow Company is a large manufacturing company specializing in the manufacture of blah, 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 blah. So this is the scenario. Okay. What is the question? Question is calculate the return on investment for each division and state whether or not each manager reached the target. Okay. So you have to solve it here. Again, similarly, it is calculates the residual income for each division. So they have specified you the marks, 6 marks and 4 marks. So both of these questions now, part A and part B, you have to solve over here in this spreadsheet. Okay, the spreadsheet will be available to you. Okay, Total 300 rows are there, enough space for you to solve two subparts. Okay. And similarly, CV. So you have columns till CV and 300 rows. So what you have to do, type in your answers for A and B over here. So you will get total 10 marks. Now, if I click on next now, the same exhibit is same, flow company. Now the question has changed. This is part C. Now part C, you have to type it in like your Word file. The earlier one was like an Excel spreadsheet. This is a Word doc. Okay. So Word doc is for 6 marks. Now you have to answer this, discuss the performance of the two divisions for the year, including the main reasons why their ROI results differ from each other. So the 20 marks now, it's not going to be just one question. There will be multiple subparts to it, like I'm showing you here. Again, let's move to the next question. Okay, again, now the question got completed. 6 earlier, 10 marks, then 6 marks, then this 4 marks, 20 marks. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of using residual income to measure divisional performance. So you're going to type in your answer in this Word file here. Okay, when you click on next, it will show you now the next scenario. Now, this scenario relates to 5 requirements. So, there are going to be 5 sub-requirements to this. Now, using the current annual budgeted figures, calculate. So, whenever there is a calculation required, they themselves will give you this Excel spreadsheet. You don't worry, ma'am, we get or where will we solve? They will give you the necessary place to solve. Okay. So, this is how the exhibit will be given to you in the exam, and this is your answer script. Now, if I just click on next, the same scenario, another question. Now they have given you some scenario they have given you, and now they're asking you to discuss the proposal made by the chief executive. This is for 3 marks. So as it said, there are going to be 3 subparts, so you can just see it over here. Yes, very good question. So Samida has a doubt like, for example, I solve the Excel part and I leave the Word doc part empty, that I'm not writing anything, I don't know the answer. You will be evaluated on parts. Why? Because this is human mugged. This section C, it goes to a human examiner. So they will give you marks in parts, but not for section A and B because they are computer marked. The computer doesn't understand that. They will either give you full marks or they will give you 0 marks. But this, you definitely get part marks. It's not like you have to answer the entire 20 marks correctly to get the full marks. Okay. So let's go to next. So now I'm sure this would require some calculation. So they have given you an Excel. So they are, going to be that smart. They will give you the necessary piece. Now discuss. This requires discussion. So they have given you a Word file over here. Okay. And now the final question, question number 38. Discuss the problem. So this scenario remains same. Charminster coaches. And the questions, they were different of different marks. See, I'll tell you honestly what I feel is the smaller the mark allocation, the better it is. Rather than 8 mark, 10 mark question, if there are smaller questions, then it is easier to score marks. I'll tell you why. Just imagine a situation if there is an 8 to 10 mark question and you don't know the answer to it. You lose the entire 8 to 10 marks. But if there are smaller questions, 3 marks, 2 marks, if you don't know 2 marks answer, you just lose that much now. So it's better. Actually, again, there's nothing in your control. I'm just telling as an experience here. So whenever there are smaller subparts, it's easier to score marks. Okay. So this is how the exam pattern is going to be. So I've shown you section A, B, and C, and the different types of questions that come. Now, if I just click on next, they will say you have, okay, this is something, there is an issue here. You have to completely scroll down only, then they'll let you move to the next sheet. See, they will give you a review screen. What all questions you have completed, you have not seen also, unseen, incomplete, complete. If I've typed something randomly, they will mark it as complete only. So incomplete, and then I will say if you want to review something, now if this was flagged, remember I flagged this question, so if you want to revisit it, you can revisit it, or else you can just click on end exam. Okay, they'll ask you have chosen to end the exam. If you continue, you will not be able to return to the exam. Are you sure you want to end? You click on yes. Again, they'll ask you twice. Are you sure you want to end the exam? Yes. Now the exam is complete. Okay, so this is how an exam looks like. Of course, I just did random selection and all. But anyways, I just showed you the entire paper. Now, next, ma'am, I've done it. I want to see the answer. You can't see the answer in the exam hall, but on the ACCA practice platform. So let me tell you, whatever question papers are there on the ACCA practice platform, there are answers of it also on the ACCA practice platform. Let me show you where. Okay, some of you might know, whoever has attempted previous papers, they might know where the answers are. I'll just show it to you. So if you click on mark, okay, you click on mark and then just search up your paper. I have attempted a lot of papers, so it's showing all of them to me. This is the one, pre-March 2024 mock exam. We just attempted it right now, right? So it's as per the UK timing. Pre-March 2024 exam. You click on self-mark. Okay. So I've got whatever random scores options I was selecting, I have not got anything correct. I've got 0 out of 100. So auto score. So for section A to section B, now automatically score will be generated. So what is the answer? I had randomly added 121, but the correct answer is what? 500. And they will show you the calculation also behind it. Why it is 500 over here. Okay, so 500 is 180 minus 80 into 12. Sorry, divided by 12 by 60. So if you want to see the question again, you don't have to go back to the question. If you just click here now, question stem, you can just click on show. It will show you the question again. This was the question. If you want to hide it, you can hide it from here. See, I'm just telling you the functionalities of the practice platform. You'll have, again, when you just do more investigation, you will learn more about it. I'm just telling you the active functionalities. So this is where you can see the question. Okay. And then this is the answer. And if I just click here to see the sample answer, it's actually visible only. This is the part which they're talking about. Okay, so this is the answer. Now I can see, similarly, I can see the answer to all the questions. See, so this option which I selected, it was right. Very good that we have got such a scenario. So this particular option was right. It's green. See, but this one which I selected is wrong. The answer should have been this one. Okay, option D. What did I get? I got 0. Why? Because I told you both the answers have to be correct. I got 1 correct now, but I did not get 1 mark. I got 0 only. So because both of the answers have to be correct. Now the explanation is given to you why the answer is what it is. The explanation is given to you on the left hand side. Now if you want to relook at the question, just click on this. Question said following criticism, blah, blah, blah. The question is available to you. Which 2 of the following advantages? These are the options which were available and the answers are A and D. Okay. Similarly, you can see the answers for all and in fact also for the longer answers also. See, this is the way. Second. So this question is available here. Charminster Coaches is a coach company. The question is available. I did not write anything. If I would have written something here, it would have shown. But if you want to now see the marking guidelines. Now this marking guidelines is something which is, I'll come back to your question. So marking guidelines is basically, let me just show it to you. See. This way, this is something which is given to the examiner. How to give you marks. So, for example, question number 38 was for 3 marks. So, this type of a marking scheme is given to the examiner that if the students, so you were asking now, ma'am, part marking will be available or not. So, if you look at this, difficulties in obtaining evidence. If a student has covered this in the answer, he or she will get 1 mark. Difficulties in measuring service. Here, if she has covered this in the answer, he or she will get 1 mark. Similarly, if this is covered, you get 1 mark. So whatever. So if you have covered 2 parts, you will get 2 out of 3. If you have covered just 1 part, you will get 1 out of 3. That is how your marking will be done. And this is something which is provided to the examiner. Okay. Now, if you want to see the sample answer, you will have to click on this. Click here to see the sample answer. I'll tell you something. What you should do. It's actually very, the software is a little cumbersome. What you can do is, either you can view the answer over here. So the answer to section part E is this one. Where the first problem is establishing. So look at how they've answered in small paragraphs. That is what is expected of you in the exam also. But anyways, this is a model answer and they have given it to you here. But as I said, it's a little cumbersome. I'll give you a small trick. What you can follow here, you click on this part and you click on Control P. Okay. So you can actually now save it as a PDF, Microsoft Print to PDF. You can save it on your drive and you can, whenever you open it next, it will open up as a PDF file. So you don't actually have to, zoom it, zoom out. You'll just save it as a regular PDF and you can view the answers later. Okay, so the 3 answer scripts, see, it's all blank, only page 2 and 3 anyways. So, but this, and you can have a look at the answer from here. It's just a trick I'm sharing with you. But anyways, what I wanted to tell you is that the answer is available to you here. You can see your answer. If I would have written something here, it would have shown, and I could have compared what the model answer is and what I have written. Okay. So that's to show you that all the answers, as I said, of the mock exam, of the practice exam, whatever it is, it will be available to you in the marking section. I'll just show it to you again. Okay. Where were we? We were at home and we had selected the paper from here. Once you are done, when you have submitted and ended the exam, only after that, if you come to the mark section over here, then only you will be able to see the answer. Okay. If you just click on something like this, SPR international paper. So I would have written it earlier. So this is how it is. Self-marking. Okay. And that's it. That's how you can view the answer. Whatever answer you want to see, you can just click on this one and self-mark. You will be able to see the answers. But that is visible only after you have ended the exam. Okay. All right. So that's about it. Anything else that I want to show you from here? Any doubts? Any doubts from here? Anything that you could not follow with me so far? So I got another question is that, ma'am, how many mock past papers are available on the portal? So let me show you something, okay? So we were here, ACC official resources. If you just keep on zooming it out, see all of these are available, okay? June 21, December 21, June 22, June 23, December 22, December 23. Then some random practice exams are there. We were doing this one. And 2 other exams are available to you. Some specimen exam is there, EM specimen. So all of these are available to you on the practice platform. You can practice them and you can view the answers later on. Okay, so I've answered your question. And yeah, I was saying one more thing. That if you want to practice questions randomly, okay, you want to feel when you're practicing, then okay, so I'll tell you something. Whenever I give you the PR kit questions as homework now, practice it in a Word or an Excel file. I hope you're able to follow me. Do not use pen and paper. Use use your laptop and type your answers in an Word or an Excel file. That is how it should be. Okay, because ultimately you are going to write your answers on the computer. If you're not done enough practice, you will not be able to solve properly during the exam time. So I would really suggest right from the beginning, even when I am asking you questions, okay, I'll give you some questions to practice during the exam itself. During the classes itself. So whatever solution that you do, make sure you do it in an Word or an Excel file only, and then you share the answers with me. in this way, what will happen? Your typing speed will increase. Your ability to frame answers on the laptop, that will improve. So I would really request, whenever I give you practice questions in the class, do it in a Word or an Excel file. And also, see, the spreadsheet or the doc file that you're seeing there, it's not exactly same as an MS Excel or a Word. So what you can do is, there's a blank workspace available to you here. If you just click on assign this, a tab will open up over here. Let me just see blank workspaces. And okay, this is the one, performance management. Click on resume. So this is how they will just show you, a random practice paper. Okay, you can just type in whatever answer. It's blank. Okay, whatever you want to type, you can type or do the calculations over here. If you want to check which all formula works, which all formula don't, you can just check it over here. Okay, these all functions will be available to you. The basic shortcuts now, like Control C, Control V, Control X, Control Z, Control Y, all of those shortcuts work. Let me tell you one thing: you cannot add or delete columns in this. Like in Excel, you get the option now to add columns or delete columns. That you can't do in this. Okay. But other than that, it's mostly similar. Now, ma'am, if I can't add or delete, what should I do? Like if I've typed something here, okay, and I've typed something here. Now I want to add some data. Normally, what I would have done, I would have added a column. But since that option is not available to me, so what I should do is Control X, Control V. And then whatever I want to type here, I'll type it here. Okay. So that's something that you should be aware about. And then random functionalities that you should see is Control B, bold function, Control I, italics, Control U, underline. If you want to color your text, that coloring is available over here. If you want to, color the entire cell. So for example, if I want to make this red, it won't be much needed in exam, but I'm just telling you all the functionalities that are available. Then left alignment, center alignment. Okay, so this is if I want to left alignment, center alignment, right alignment, all of that is available. If I want to type a number, so let's say I've typed 90. I want to increase it up to 2 decimal places. I can just click on this. I can increase the decimal places like that. Okay, I want to convert it into a percentage. I'll click on this. So 90 percentage. Okay. Then if I want to write something in fractions, okay, not much useful actually, just telling you that these all options are available to you. Okay. So, equals to 9 by 6 only you will do rather. So if you want to write it as a fraction, see. Normally, if I type 9 by 6, what will it show me? It will show me 1.5. But if you want to show it as a fraction, not much useful, but you can just click on this and it will show you. Okay. So this is how it is. All right. The response option available to you. Any doubts over here? Anything that you could not understand, please tell me. Here. Okay. Normally now, Milna, the question paper gets uploaded before a week or 10 days before the exam. This mock exam that I was saying, that it will get uploaded before 10 days, and rest all questions will be available. The past papers will be available to you. The specific exams mock paper that's made available 1 week or 10 days before the real exam. Yes, Suraj, you can use those functions. So for example, like 6, 7, 8, I want to do a sum. I'll be teaching you all of that. Don't worry. If I want to sum it up, I can use this function. Okay. So it all works, but I'll tell you these things later on. All shortcuts, they will not work. You'll have to select manually. Okay. Do I need to know professional Excel? No, you don't need to know. Professional Excel, you don't need to know. It's very basic, summation, just typing in the cells and all. That is something that you should be aware of, and you will learn during the classes also, as I said, because whatever I have solved in Excel, and I'll ask you also to solve in Excel only. So when you keep on doing it now, you will learn whatever is required for the exam. Okay? So Sheikh, as I said earlier, I will complete the syllabus by 11th or 12th of May or maximum by 18th or 19th of May. So you'll get around 15-20 days to practice on your own. All right. So on that note, let's just okay. So that was about the ACCA practice platform. Now I'll show you something else also, which I told you. Like if you want to see where the amendments are, so if you just click on accglobal.com, you can do it along with me also. So accglobal.com, you go and hover over students, and then you click on study support resources. Then you click on ACCA qualification and you select the paper performance management. Okay. Then 1 second, syllabus. This part, there is a syllabus tab. You click on syllabus. Okay. And then this is the syllabus which is there till June 2024, which we are going to cover in the class also. Then there is this syllabus applicable from September 24 attempt onwards. Okay, so I'll just show it to you. If there are any amendments also, we'll see that. So this is how they publish it. I'll just download it and show it to you once. This is how they publish the syllabus, and any changes whichever are there now, it's always given towards the end. So here, like see, if you see this summary of changes to PM, if you just scroll on this, see, as I told you, historically, this is true for this attempt also, there have been no additions to or deletions from the syllabus. So whatever we are covering in the class today, that is applicable for June 24, it will also be applicable for September 24 till June of 25. So the same things will apply till June 25 paper, same content, whatever we are covering in the class today. Okay. So this is something that you should be aware about. There have been no additions or changes in the syllabus. Clear? Okay. So this is something actually you should explore. The study support resources is something that you should explore. I'll show you some more interesting things also from here. I'll click back. Okay. Yeah. So introduction to PM anyways, you'll get from me. Examining team guidance. Okay, this is very interesting. I'll just show it to you. So examining team guidance. This is a video which you can watch like a 5-minute video with the PM examining team. So the examiners who actually evaluate your paper, they will tell you what all things they look out for. And also, you can click on this PM examiner's report. So if you want to see the answers for the December attempt paper, so the question and the answer, it will be available on the ACCA practice platform, which I showed you, right? I showed you the different papers that were available. Now, what is the examining team's comments on that? You can just open that document. See, if you can read it in detail, I'll just show you a sample. Let me download it and then show it to you again. Okay. So this is very important and interesting. I would not say that you read through all the examiner reports, but I would suggest you something. Whenever you solve any particular question later on after the syllabus is over, I would suggest for at least one paper, you come back and see this examining team guidance. I'll tell you why. Because, it covers all the comments that, why or how many students did well in this particular question, or what was the common error which the students did. Okay. See this. What does this test? The understanding of the assumptions behind and hence limitations of CVP analysis. What is the correct answer? Okay. And similarly, they'll tell you, explain you more about it. Example two. So in this way, I'll just go skip to section C's comments because that's actually more interesting. Section B is still fine. So they'll select some questions where there were common mistakes or something. See, section C. So here it was Daisy Company. This is the requirement. Okay. There are a few things to consider before tackling this part. Now, this is something which the examining team is telling you, that what you should have noted: the period cover, breaking down the requirement, presentation, verb used. Verb is a very, very important thing in exam. I'll also, touch base upon this. So, when I was reading out the questions, you saw something. There were words like describe, there were words like explain, calculate. Each of these words, the approach to the answer changes considerably on the basis of the question verb. So all of these things you will learn during the class only. I'm just giving you a glimpse, a bird's eye view of what all lies ahead of you. So these things are very important. That what is the question verb? Okay. Now see, look at how they have, elaborated. Consideration must be given to the following questions and a good response provided. See, they are going to tell you what are the qualities of a good answer. A good response provided a clear table of calculations with monkey, monkey plus, and nettle, nettle plus shown separately. This is something which you should really read. Just randomly open up any one examining team's guidance. You can just have a look at the latest one only. That would be the best. And see what is the examining team looking out for. See, ultimately, whatever you are writing, it's for the examining team. It's not for me. It's not for your friend. It's not for your family. It's for the examiner. And if there is a communication from the examiner and they are telling you upfront what they are expecting in the answer, you should really read it so that you understand when you're practicing, when you're studying, what are things you should keep in mind. Okay, like a clear cut calculation, answering in small paragraphs, calculations of the profit and joint process are not required. What is so a lot of times I will also tell you that maybe the information is available to you in the question, but the requirement is not asking you to do some calculations. So unnecessarily don't do calculations. Okay. So that is what even the examining team says, that sometimes the answer is not pertaining to the requirement. Student answers on his own mind. What they will write, what they know. They will not write what they have been asked. It's a common error. See, when you see a common topic in the exam now, you get excited. Wow, I know this answer. And then you randomly just start, very quickly start typing the answer without actually seeing what the requirement is. So be careful. Even if you see sometimes a common type of a question, don't get excited and jump to writing the answer. Always read the requirement first. And that is something you will see in a lot of examining team comments also. It's really important you stay focused during the exam. You read the question properly. You read the requirement properly. So there is an exhibit and there is requirement now, like I showed you in the question paper. So read all of it carefully before starting to answer. Okay, something may be required, some things may not be required. You don't assume things that this could be the requirement. Just read it properly and you'll get all the necessary clarity. So as I told you, this is examining team's guidance, their communication on what they expect out of an answer. Clear? Any doubts still here? Anything that you want to ask me? So far, so I've shown you the practice platform. I've shown you the amendments list. I've shown you the examining team guidance. I'll just, if there's no doubt till here, I'll go back to the study resources and I'll show you some more interesting things over there. Is it fine? Are you able to follow me so far? No doubts? Perfect. Okay, just let me know, huh? Okay, anywhere you get stuck, just let me know. Don't feel shy. Okay, so let's come back. And I'll show you something more over here. And I would request you all, it's just the first class today, be participative. Whenever I ask you things now, I'll tell you what, whenever you guys participate now, when you are active in the chat box, it gives me a confirmation that you all are alive and listening to me. And don't doze off in the class. Whenever I ask a confirmation or I ask if you have doubts, just clarify that you have or not have doubts. Don't just sit back and relax. Be participative. I also get a confirmation that you're on track with me. All right. So, anyways, let me show you the other things also. So, I showed you the examining team guidance, I showed you the syllabus part and study hub. Okay, so there is a study hub which the ACC itself has published. Let me show that also to you very quickly. Just go to Google and type in ACCA Study Hub. Okay. Click on this ACCA Study Hub. So, Krishna, the PR kit now, it is updated till a certain exam. Mostly it is updated. I'll have to check that. I'm not carrying the book right now. You can also check it if you have the version. So maybe it will have questions till December 22 attempt, 2022 attempt. So all of those questions, anyways, I'll be giving it to you as homework. If you have doubts, you can ask it to me later. I don't particularly go and actually start solving papers in the class because I want to spend more time in explaining the concepts to you. And whenever you solve the questions relating to those concepts and you get doubts, that question I solve fully. So that's how I like to keep the approach. So past papers, a lot of them will get covered with the homeworks only. The homeworks which I'll give you from the PR kit, a lot of the past questions will get covered there, and whatever do not get covered, you can cover it on the practice platform. Now coming to this ACCA Study Hub. Okay, ACCA Study Hub, all of you will have access to it. I'm assuming you have your login ID and password. It's the same which you used on the practice platform. So you have to click on this one, huh? You can log in direct. So click on login direct. Again, bookmark this also, okay? I'll come back to your questions, ma'am. So this is the page that will open up. Type in your ID and password. Okay. So here, all the papers of ACCA you will be able to see. So for example, you're seeing the performance management paper, okay? You click on study. So for you, it might not be showing in the dashboard. You might have to go to this tab, huh? Not yet started. So I would have started it earlier. So it's showing for me in the dashboard. But for you, if you have not started it before, it might be showing in this part, huh? Not yet started. Performance management paper will definitely be there. So you just have to click on study. Okay. So you will see that the entire content of the ACCA curriculum, it is covered over here. Okay, the entire curriculum, chapter wise. So our chapters would be different from what they have followed as chapters, but the entire curriculum is covered in these 18 chapters over here. Okay, so if you want to study a particular chapter, I would suggest don't get digressed into it. It's the same content that you're going to cover in the class. So if you start studying from multiple sources, it may cause problems. I would suggest do not spend your time on it. Your time is very limited. Spend it judiciously. So, but just to let you know that there are actually the syllabus is covered over here. So managing information, so information systems, So the entire content is over here. Okay. So that's available in the chapters part. Then there are flashcards. This is something that you can actually make use of along with our classes. So flashcards is something. So if you want to see the entire list, I'll just show it to you here. So flashcards, what are they actually? The important terms. So information system. If you want to know what information system means, just click on this. It will show you in very small sentence. What does information system mean? It consists of people, procedures, and possibly computer hardware and software working together to collect, store, process, and communicate information. So the small definition, see, in exam, you will not be asked to write down the definition of information system. Rest, be assured, it's the exams are not going to ask you questions like this. Define information system, or it is more scenario based. You have already seen the paper now. So they'll give you a scenario, and related to that, they'll ask you that what are the advantages, disadvantages of, let's say, beyond budgeting model for this company. So you need to know the advantages and disadvantages of beyond budgeting and then relate it to the company scenario. It will never be like list down the advantages, disadvantages of beyond budgeting. It was never like those. Very limited, hardly you will see questions like that. But normally it is question scenario based. So here also you don't need to memorize these flashcards. But very, very important is that, important terms get covered. So, what is an audit trail, for example? It is a record of significant data about each transaction. So what you can do is, of course, you will all will have a study table or wherever you've studied, right? What you can do is take a printout of this. The entire list will get printed together. I guess 2 or 3 pages max to max. Take a printout of this and hang it on your study table, so that randomly also you can have your, have a look at this terms and important definitions. Okay, say something like this. I hope you can see my screen. If you take a printout of this, just 2 pages, 3 pages here. Just take a printout of this and hang it on your study table randomly. If you're like lazing around, your eyes lay on something important, it's good now. So just put it across on your study table. That's all. So that's about the flashcards section. Okay. Then again, coming back here. Okay, sorry. Just click back. Okay, so that was the flashcard. Then you have quizzes, small questions, 5 questions from each chapter. These are mostly MCQ based, so you can randomly try these questions after the relevant syllabus area is completed in our class. And you will also get to see their answers here only. Then practice questions. Now, practice questions are something that you can, so if I just click on start here. So mostly the questions will be common from the PR kit. Again, I'll give you a disclaimer, practice only if you have time. The content will get covered in the PR kit only. But if you feel you have time, then only come to this. Otherwise, it's not mandatory to cover these questions also. There are approximately 450 questions here. And similar number of questions in the PR kit also. 450 something questions are there in the PR kit also. So if you want to double up your time, but the questions will almost be similar. See, I'll tell you very honestly, you'll never get a common question in exam. Okay, it's not like you'll get a common question. Whatever you practice from the PR kit or you practice from the ACCA study hub, you'll never get a common question. What is important is that your concepts should be clear. So if your concepts are clear, you will be able to address any type of question that comes. So if you feel that you have enough time, you can come here and practice more questions. But practicing the PR kit questions also, similar type of questions you will get there, it's enough. Okay, but since I was telling you about the ACCA study, so I'm telling you that yes, questions are also available here in the practice section. And search is like a normal search bar within this book. So if I search for, let's say, beyond budgeting, okay. So wherever beyond budgeting appears within this area, chapters, flashcard, quizzes, so practice, not sure about quizzes, but yeah, I guess chapters and flashcards, it will just show you here what is the beyond budgeting. I can click on it and it will just directly make me land on that section. So what is the beyond budgeting? So if I randomly want to study it, I can click on the search bar, search its name, and I will land on that particular section. Okay, and if I want to study, I can study it from here. Okay, so that is all about the ACCA Study Hub. You can make use of it, but only use it if you feel you have enough time, not as a mandatory thing from my side. Okay, so coming back. Any doubts over here? Can I come back to the? It's very important, huh? You'll hear it a lot from a lot of other students who are maybe not taking coaching or something, that I'm studying from ACCA Study Hub. Don't feel anxious or something, ma'am is not covering it in the class, because we can only cover one thing, right? We can't cover the entire universe in the class. So rest assured, the content will be similar. It's just that there are different books or sources for the same content. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. So I'll just go back. Okay, oh, it's just here only now. So I've shown you the ACCA Study Hub. Then something that you need to be using is this technical articles and topic explainers. This is actually very, very interesting. So sometimes now, like maybe you're traveling in a metro, you're traveling by bus or something. You're just having some free time. You can actually read these articles. It's not boring. It might sound boring, but they're actually not. So I'll tell you, for example, if you want to see what is big data, you click on this article and there will be a very exhaustive article on that particular topic. So any topic, there is a list of topics which are there. You can see it on this part only, the technical article section. If I just go back, I'll show you the entire content list. You can read through this. Characteristics of big data. They'll give you some good examples also. So it's covered. It's just technical article. It's not like you have to memorize it or something, but I would suggest you give it a plain reading. Okay, so technical articles is something you should really consider giving a plain reading. The content will be something similar to what we have studied, but it could be more in depth. Just out of curiosity, if you want to know more, I would really recommend that if you're having some free time, you're having lunch, you want to just read an article or something, you can actually consider reading these articles. It's good. It's of good quality. Okay, some sort of this diagrams and all you can see here. They have made it very well, very well. Okay, so this is the entire list of all the topics which have been covered with respect to the PM only. Subject is PM and all the technical articles associated with it. So what is big data? How companies use big data? All of these things, activity-based costing, all of this you will learn in the class. But if you want to go one step deeper into the understanding of it, you can actually consider reading these articles over here. A lot of articles are available. So if you see a common topic that we have covered in the class and you want to study deeper about it, you can open these technical articles and read it. Okay, budgeting and variance analysis, different types of things are available. You can consider reading it. Balance scorecard. Okay, so this is the technical articles. Then next, anything that I want to show you. Oh yeah, this thing, exam formula and math table. So this is something that will be provided to you in the exam. Okay, so some formula sheets, it's available on the practice platform also. Like where I was showing this. Just look at this, the specimen exam that I was showing you. So if you click on help formula sheet now, you will be able to see what all formulas will be available to you in the exam. So these formula, they are available to you. Only these two are there. Unfortunately, there are not many. So PM formula sheet, there are just two formula that they have provided to you in exam. This all formula that we are going to cover in the class, you'll have to learn them. Okay. So that's a plus point. Actually, they give the critical ones in the formula sheet so that you don't have to really memorize it. So it's available. It will be available to you in the exam also. Okay. Then lastly that I want to cover with you over here is the pass rate. So the pass rate, it has always, tapered around this only. 40 to 45% is where the average lies for the PM paper. So like in the December 23 attempts, the pass rate was 42%. So this is how it is. But, the pass rate of our students has been always higher than this pass rate. It's very it's a global average rate. Ours have already trended. I've always trended around 75% up. So rest assured, if your preparation is right and you're showing enough dedication, you will pass the exam. Don't get worried about the global averages. So just study hard, okay? And you will definitely pass the exam. So someone had asked me in the chat box also, ma'am, is it a difficult paper? It's not a difficult paper. So, in the skills level, so I'll just show it to you for other papers also, like taxation. Let's just open that. So here it is about 50s and up. Okay. Then audit assurance. Again, it's of the same range as PM paper. So it's not about a paper is difficult or easy. Um, it's about the trend which has actually been for the students, how much they're able to comprehend or something. But you don't really have to worry about this. Honestly, someone asked me, so I'm covering it in here. But it's not something that you should be worried about that the pass rates are low. What you need to be aware is that if your concepts are clear from the class and if you attempt the papers, you will definitely pass the exam. Okay. All right. So on that note, I've covered the entire student support section over here, study support resources. You can also just go through it, in your free time. Just have a look at what all elements are available. If you face any doubts, you can always let me know. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's take a small break now. It's 4:07. We'll take a 15-minute break and we'll catch up at about 4:25. Okay, so let's take a break, refresh yourself, eat something, and then we'll catch up and continue our discussion on the introduction to the VM paper. Okay, so we'll see you after the break. I'll show that. I'll cover that, Milna. I have it in my to-do. I'll cover it after the break. All right. Hey everyone, welcome back from the break. Let's continue our discussion. So I was supposed to show you the ACCA jobs portal, right? I hope all of you are back. Please confirm. Let me show it to you. ACCA job portal. Perfect. Okay. So what you have to do, there's this portal called jobs.acccaglobal.com. Okay. So if you just search this na ACCA jobs portal, this will be the first link. You click on this. Okay. And now look at this. Like I was showing it to you, telling you, right? That you will get country specific openings. Now, if you want to look up openings in the UK, so if you click on this, then within UK also, whichever country you are looking for. So, for example, I guess this is UK and Europe, right? So, if let's say you're looking for an opening in the Netherlands, if you click on Netherlands, you'll get this here. Different companies. There are 185 jobs over here. They'll give you, the salary also. What is the salary that they're offering? And it's pretty decent, right? Very decent, in fact. So, of course, it also depends on the cost of living of the respective country, of course. But yes, there are very good job openings over here. Order to cash, assistant controller. So they'll mention all, I mean, this is in a different language. I guess it's Dutch. So this one is in English, right? So you'll get such openings. Now, if you're looking for a job in the Singapore, right? So you have to click on Asia Pacific and let's look for Singapore. Yeah. So you'll see there are a hell lot of openings in Singapore, 812. Australia, 1,000 openings. Okay. So, China 880, Hong Kong 332, Pakistan, then where's India? India has got 991 openings. So as I was telling you, there is a lot of scope for this, course now. So 991, approximately same, about 1,000 openings are there in India also. Bangladesh, so you'll get a lot of good options over here. Okay, and if you are looking for a remote job, I think you're supposed to type remote or something, right? Uh, Maybe here, let me check. Yeah, home working. So you have to click home working and then search. There are some, but mostly now you will see. So there are actually some work from home jobs, but mostly they tend to be. I've also explored this portal, but mostly the home working jobs, they tend to be, hybrid jobs. So then you will have to be stationed in the country where it is, where the job is based, and then it is how it is. So, but of course, you can, explore it. I mean, I haven't explored it in a very long time, but you can explore this portal, so you'll get to know more about it. Got it? Sure, the breeze, no issues. Sure, no issues. Carry on, please. Okay, so this is the ACCA job portal. Now, very important, what you will have to do is you'll have to create an account. So I already have an account, but you'll have to create account as an prospective employee. So you can just add in your details. I guess they ask some details also. What is your work ex, or what levels of ACCA you have qualified and all. And this is pretty much about the portal. So of course you can, Africa, America, internship opportunities. So as I was saying now, that there are internship opportunities also. So this is where you can get the internship opportunities. So you can browse by location again. So let's say you're looking for internships in Asia. So they'll show you all the Asian internships. So if you just filter India, see, there's a financial analyst. There's an opening in Amazon, which is like, wow. You should actually, think about all of these. I mean, browse through these options. If you get a good internship, it's a big plus in your CV. Okay. So, like we have in CA also, not the third year industrial training program. So, like I also used to have an intern in my team. So, something like that. The ACCA is also promoting such internships. So, you should actually check this out if you find something good. Okay, everyone. So, are we good to go out of this platform now? And can I come to the slides? Anything you want to ask me over here? These are all Bangalore based. Perfect. Now let's come to the deck. Okay. So here we were discussing the exam structure. Yes, 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 you can. You can start off your training now. Okay, so we were having a look at the exam structure, the three different sections that you're going to see in the exam, and I showed you the specimen exam as well. Okay. I think job, you'll have to, ensure that your employer is aware that you are studying and you get sufficient time to study. I mean, I have always been vocal that if you're studying, it's not impossible to do a job alongside. So it's pretty much doable if you want to do it, but you need support of the employer, because ultimately exam leaves, he or she will approve. So make sure your employer is aware. Rest, it's good to start it after 9 papers. Also, you don't really have to wait for completing the entire syllabus. But sometimes when I see students struggling to clear exams, then I sometimes recommend that, please take a break and then just focus on the exams and then qualify it. Okay, so again, as I keep saying, it differs from case to case. You have to judge it for yourself. Yes, not very sure about the number of papers. Sometimes I see the exemptions also, and the side qualifications that you have. So this you'll have to check out on the ACCA website only, you'll find some more clarity on that. But different employers, they keep different types of restrictions. So sometimes now the employers will keep restriction like 9 papers qualified. So it differs from employer to employer. I don't think it is fixed per se. But check that out on the ACCA website. We'll get more details on that. All right. So the next sheet is now section C questions now. They will mostly be focused from chapter 8 to chapter 21. So there are total 21 chapters in the syllabus that we're going to cover. And section C, normally it comes from chapter 8 to 21 only. Chapter 1 to 7 is primarily little basic chapters. They don't get tested in section C, but it's not like a no. There could be some marks from section, some chapters 1 to 7 also. But primary focus of section C questions is from chapter 8 to 21. Okay. Now we'll discuss some very important exam success skills. It might seem to you right now like, ma'am, why are you discussing something which will come to us later? The very reason I want to discuss these success skills today is that I want you to be, prepared and to know what you are preparing yourself for. Ultimately, you have to write an exam. Now, why we are taking these classes is because we have to write an exam. So you need to know what is expected out of you in the next 2.5 months so that you are ready for the grind. Okay. So the first skill that you need to possess is the ability to manage information. So I showed you that there is going to be an exhibit, okay, and then there are going to be some supporting questions for it. So make sure you are capable enough to manage such questions, such long exhibits. You are calm and careful enough to note or underline or highlight the important pieces of information and be able to use them properly in the answers drafting. So, questions in the exam will present you with a lot of information. The skill is how you handle this information to make the best use of your time. See, time is limited. You'll have 3 hours of time. The key is determining how you will approach the exam and then actively reading the questions. Okay, advice on developing managing information. Okay, so how do you develop this skill? The exam is 3 hours long. There is no designated reading time. Okay, so you might have appeared for some state level exam boards also, but different boards follow different rules. So some don't get confused over here. There is no such reading time, writing time. The total time is 3 hours. You can utilize it the way you want to. Okay, so there is no designated reading time at the start of the exam. However, one approach that can work well is to start the exam by spending 10-15 minutes. So total, how many minutes you have? You have total 180 minutes. What I would recommend is initially, the first 10-15 minutes, again it differs from student to student. You will understand it better when you attempt for the mock exams, which skill works out the best for you. But it's you can start by spending the first 10-15 minutes just to skim through all the questions, what type of questions have been asked, but not mandatory. You want to straight away start from question 1, okay, that you start with section A question, section B, and then section C. You can start directly with that also. But if you want to spend some time reading or understanding what type of questions have come, you can just skim through it in the first 10-15 minutes. But not mandatory, but just a recommendation if you want to. Okay, so once you feel familiar with the exam, consider the order in which you will attempt the questions. Always attempt them in the order of your preference. Okay, for example, you may want to leave the last question you consider to be the most difficult. So when you have skim read the questions and you realize that, there are some difficult questions which you want to study later, I'll tell you something which I tend to follow in exam, which I was showing you also while I was showing you the exam, the March 2024 mock. What I would recommend is you start from question 1 directly. Okay, just go in a sequence form. Section A first, section B, and then section C. Start from question 1, and then whatever questions you can solve, you solve. Whatever you cannot, Just select any one option which you feel could be the right one and just flag it, which I told you earlier also. Rather than spending those 10-15 minutes and skimming through and understanding, I would recommend you start directly from question one and keep on solving line by line, and wherever you get stuck, mark something and flag it off, and then you can later come back when you have some more time. You can come back and review the question's answer again. Okay, so that is something you can do. Then you must take an active approach to reading each question. In section C questions in particular, focus on the requirement first. I told you, don't get excited when you see a familiar question. Read the requirement. What have they really asked you? Making a note of keywords such as explain and discuss. Just 1 second now. So read the requirement carefully and see what is the question verb. If it is advise, you have to advise. If it is discuss, you need to discuss. So accordingly, craft your answer. Look at the question verb. What is it starting with? Okay. So making a note of the keywords such as explain and discuss to ensure you answer the question properly. Then read the rest of the question, making notes on important and relevant information you think you will need. Okay. Okay. So let me just show you something. 1 second. I'll just see if it is covered or not covered now. I'll tell you this. I'll add one sheet. I'll share this with you also. Let me present the different types of question verbs which you will encounter in section C. Okay. So advise. When the question asks you advice, what you have to do? Tell someone what you think they should do in a given scenario. Okay. So if it is asking you to this advise something, it's what you think is good for the organization or from their perspective. Analyze, break an issue. If the question is asking you to analyze, so break an issue into smaller multiple parts and discuss the current situation. So whatever is the issue given to you, you need to break it down and then discuss the situation. That is what analyze means. Of course, when you practice more questions, this skill will develop. Today, it might just look like theoretical explanation, but when you solve questions, read these explanations, that if the question is advice and you look at the model answer, see how it gets incorporated. So I'd made this summary. It will be helpful for you. Okay, so analyze is what? You break down the issue into multiple parts and then you discuss the current situation. 3 is apply. Sometimes they will give you apply the beyond budgeting model to this company or apply a total quality management concept to this organization. So what you'll have to do, put a concept. So first you'll have to discuss about that concept. So if you are talking about the TQM model, so you talk about the total quality management model and then see how it applies to the question's data. So put a concept into action as per the question's data. Then number 4 is assess. Judge the importance of an issue. Assess means you have to judge how important that issue is and how it will have different types of implications on the organization. Then number 5 is discuss. These are the commonly asked verbs. Okay, so I'm discussing each one of them. Now, discuss is you argue about the pros and cons of an issue. That is discuss. Estimate is more like calculate. Estimate oblique. I'll just write it down. Estimate oblique calculate. Okay. So calculate an approximate value mentioning assumptions, if any taken. Evaluate is balanced discussion on right or wrong and why it is right or wrong. That is evaluate. Explain is make a concept clear to a layman. So like you asked me, ma'am, what is the difference between discuss and explain? So now I hope you can see the difference. Discuss, when the question asks you to discuss something, you'll have to talk about the pros and cons of that issue. When it is asking you to explain, what you have to do, you'll have to explain that particular concept, make a concept clear as if you're talking to a layman. How would you explain that concept to him or her? And finally, recommend. This recommend is similar to advice. You suggest a course of action that should be taken. Understood now? So Raj and everyone else. So this is how you need to approach the section C question. So what is the question verb? And accordingly, you give the answer. Right? So I'll share it across, and let's make one more sheet here, which I was telling you, exam planning. Please understand, what is the total time? Sure, Suraj. In fact, when you read the answers, now when I'll give them to you as homework, when you read the answers, see how these words will actually, you will understand the implication of these words better at that time. When you see practical questions, now at that time it will be more visible to you. Okay, so total time is 3 hours, or I can say 180 minutes. Okay. And how many marks you have? Total marks is 100 marks. So in your mind, what you should do is time per mark that you should give is 1.8 minutes. Follow this. I'll tell you how it is important and how you need to follow this in exam. So you're doing question number 1. Okay. It turns out to be a tricky one. It takes away your 1.5 minutes you have already consumed, but you're not able to solve it. In exam, that will happen. That some questions are very confusing. You'll see that you don't know that concept. It happens all the time. It will, some type of tweaking ACCA keeps doing, and you might feel that you don't know a particular concept. So what you should be doing is allot just 1.8 or 1.5 minutes only max to a particular question. Once that time is up, you have to tell yourself, I know it will seem very difficult in the beginning, but that you should be doing during the mock exams itself. But when that time is up now, force yourself to move to the next question. Do not eat away the time of another question just because one question is difficult. It's not like if you attempt that question, you will get extra 3 marks out of 2. But if you spend a lot of time, you will end up losing the time that you could have allocated to another question, which might have been easy. Okay. So please be careful. Do not make the mistake of spending extra time on a particular question. All right. I hope I'm clear. So time per mark, you need to keep a watch on your clock. Okay. Time is up, move to the next. Time is up, move to the next. That is how you need to plan it out. Otherwise, students struggle, ma'am. They'll say, ma'am, I knew the entire paper, but I fell short of time. I don't want all of you to be saying that. So even while you are studying and practicing, set these benchmarks in your mind that I'll not be spending more than X. So if it is a 10-mark question, so I'll not spend more than 18 minutes on this question. If it's a 2-mark question, I'll not spend more than 3.5 minutes on it. That's the max I'll do. I'll move on. Later on, if I'm able to complete the paper on time, I'll come back to it. But I'll not waste any more second on it. Imbibe this right from the beginning. Okay. And one very important thing which I was telling you is approach. Approach number one, start from question one, okay, and go in sequence, okay. And number two is wherever you are not certain on an answer, select any one option and flag the question for review. When the exam, when you are done, when you are done attempting all the questions, you can come back switch. Okay. There's no negative marking. So do not leave any question unanswered. Right? This is what you need to do. Start, go in a sequence. Do not jump here and there. Just go in a sequence, attempt all the questions. Whichever question you cannot solve, just flag it for review and come back to it when you're done attempting all the questions. Okay. So that's about the approach. Now let's come back to the deck. So I told you all the question verbs and I'll share that Excel also. So you must take an active approach to reading each question in section C. Questions in particular focus on the requirement first, making a key note of the verbs such as explain, discuss to ensure you answer the question properly. Then read the rest of the question, making notes of important and relevant information you think you will need. So you can highlight or you can, so in fact, there is an option which is available, and that is you can copy and paste the data from the question in the answer script. So wherever you feel that, some point that you want to draft your answer around, don't start copying and pasting the question and you assume that you'll get marks on it. No, you can copy and paste some lines and then you can draft your answer around it. And that is something that is possible. So you can consider doing that also. If you feel a particular information is important, you can copy and paste it in the answer script only so that it remains in your mind that you have to keep this in note. And then when you are done writing the answer, you can just select it and delete. Not a physical pen and paper and examiner that you'll have to cancel out stuff. You can just delete it. It will vanish. Okay. So this is something that you need to do while you're managing or while you're developing the ability to manage questions. Okay. Next is correct interpretation of the requirements. So the active verb used often dictates the approach that written answers should take. Example, I've just shown it to you. Example, explain, discuss. It is important you identify and use the verb to define your approach. The correct interpretation of the requirement skill means correctly producing only what is being asked for by a requirement, anything not required. So as I told you, don't write what you know, write what is asked. So if something is not asked and you write something, it's not like you will get marks. Okay, so be careful about that. So advice on developing the correct interpretation of the requirements. So step one is, remember this, for section C particularly, may not be much useful in section A and B, but definitely useful for section C. So read the requirement first. So there's a long exhibit and then there are smaller requirements, right? I would really recommend that you read the requirement first. And this is something I tell my strategy professional students also. Make a habit of reading the requirement first, and then you come to reading the exhibit, because exhibits, they tend to be very long. Okay. So in your English papers, while you were studying class 11, 12, 9, 10 also, you would have got comprehension questions now, long comprehension, then you would have small, small questions out of it. Something similar is happening here also. So what you used to do, you would read the comprehension first, and then you will read the question, and then when you are done reading the question, you'll forget what was there in the exhibit. You start reading the exhibit again. So it actually wastes time. So what you should do is read the requirement first, what is asked out of you, and then you read the exhibit. And what difference will it make? The difference it will make is, since you know the requirement, your mind becomes alert while it is reading the exhibit when the necessary part comes in. When the particular relevant part comes in now, that was asked also in the requirement, your mind will become alert, and your answer drafting will start right. In your mind, it will start right away. So rather than reading the exhibit first and then knowing what is asked and then again reading the exhibit, because exhibits are longer, they will take more time to read. So it's recommended you read the requirement first, then the exhibit, and then you come back to the requirement. That's what's covered in the slides now. So read the requirement. Firstly, read the requirement a couple of times slowly and carefully, and highlight the active verbs. Use the active verbs to define what you plan to do. Make sure you identify any sub-requirements. Okay. Then next is read the rest of the question. That is the exhibit. By reading the requirement first, you will have an idea of what you are looking out for when you read the case overview and exhibits. This is a great time saver and means you don't end up having to read the whole question. Exhibits are long, I've shown you. So you don't end up having to read the whole question in full twice. Okay. And then step 3, as I told you, read the requirement again. So read the requirement again to remind yourself of the exact wording before starting your written answer. This will capture any misinterpretation of the requirements or any missed requirements entirely. This should become a habit in your approach, and with repeated practice, you will find the focus, relevance, and depth of your answer plan will improve. A very important line. See, I'll tell you, when you start studying now, when we solve some questions in the class and you share your answers with me, and then I'll show you the model answer also. You will see and you will feel also, ma'am, what am I writing? It's completely like useless nonsense that I'm writing. But I'm telling you, I have had students telling this to me on their own, that, ma'am, the way I used to write earlier and the way I write now, it's like a sea far difference. Don't expect absolutely perfect answers from day one. It will be a gradual improvement. So what I'll do, I'll tell you, whenever we solve questions in the class, I'll ask you to solve it. We'll read the question together, we'll discuss the concepts together, and then I'll ask you to solve it as if you are writing in an exam. And then I'll ask you to share that answer with me on chat. I'll read it. I'll give you a feedback on those answers. So it will always be a dynamic live review of your answers that you will get if you're attending the live classes, of course. So when you are attending the live classes, you can share your answers, and then I'll review it and I'll send it back to you, that, send it back in the sense, I'll read it out to you and I'll tell you the areas of improvement. So in that way now, gradually your answers will start to improve. So don't get disheartened from the beginning itself, ma'am, I'll not be able to pass the exam, or I'm not writing good answers. It will not happen in a day. Rome was not built in a day. It happened over the months. So you have to understand the improvement will come over months. And that is how your, answers quality will be good enough for the exam. So you have to ensure you are actively participating and actively attending the lectures, because that's possible only if you're, regular in the classes. Otherwise, it's impossible. You'll not be able to make much sense also. You'll not be able to link the lectures. So you attend the live classes, you get your answers reviewed, you yourself will see the improvement in yourself. Okay. Okay. So read the requirement again. So what is the process? Step 1 is read the requirement. Step 2 is read the exhibit. And step 3 is read the requirement again, so that your answer pertains to the requirement only. It's very much, dedicated towards that requirement, and you're not writing anything other than that. Okay. So that is second skill that you need to develop. And what is the second skill? Second skill is correct interpretation of the requirements. Then the third skill that you need to develop for the exam is efficient numerical analysis. So this skill aims to maximize the marks awarded by making clear to the marker the process of arriving at your answer. This again something you will learn from me. I really advocate writing in simple words. There's no need to use complicated jargon or complicated English or doing random complicated calculations in your answer. It's not needed. Keep your life simple, and we learn that. So, how to frame your answers properly, how to write, that we will discuss. Okay. So this skill aims to maximize the marks awarded by the awarded by making clear to the marker the process of arriving at your answer. This is achieved by laying out an answer such that even if you make a few errors, you can still score subsequent marks for follow-on calculations. See, in section C now, as I told you, there will be step marking. So even if your calculation is wrong, but your approach is right, examiner gets to award you marks. So give him that scope, I keep on repeating this always, make the life of the examiner easy. You have to impress him or her. So write in an easy way, in an, clear way, so that he's also able to follow what you are doing. Okay. So it is vital that you do not lose marks purely because the marker cannot follow what you have done. If you make it so complicated that no one other than you can understand, your life is done. You'll not get marks. Okay. So make sure your numerical analysis is done efficiently and clearly. Okay. So what is the advice on developing efficient numerical analysis? So number one is use a standard pro forma working where relevant. I'll also keep on telling and I'll show you also in my answers. When you're solving longer questions, okay. So for example, you're making a cash flow statement, for example, and one of the components in that cash flow statement is sales, and that sales requires much deeper calculations. So rather than doing all the calculations in one cell, what you should do is write sales and write note one. Come down, write note one calculation of sales, and then you do the detailed calculations over there in a note. And when you are done, go up and link the calculations. So in this way now, your answer becomes so clear. The workings are below and the main answer is on top. It looks very good to the examiner. So use a standard performer in the sense if answers can be laid out in a standard performer, then always plan to do so. This will help the marker to understand your working and allocate the marks easily. It will also help you work through the figures in a methodical and time efficient way. Okay, you yourself will feel that I am able to follow the calculations because unless you are confident, how will the examiner be able to give you marks? So write in a good format, write, make proper references, note one, and then make a note one. So don't just start randomly doing calculations here and there and you are not able to relate. Don't do that. Give proper references and do your workings. Show your workings. Keep your workings as clear and simple as possible and ensure they are cross-referenced, as I said, to the main part of your answer. Where it helps, provide brief narrative explanations. Like I said, note one calculation of sales. That is what? A brief narrative explanation. No? So, where it helps, provide brief narrative explanations to help the marker understand the steps in the calculation. This means that if a mistake is made, you do not lose any subsequent marks for follow-on calculation. So he can see that you made a calculation error, but your approach is right. So he or she will award you those marks for the follow-on calculations. Okay. And last is keep moving. It is important to remember that in an exam situation, it can sometimes be very difficult to get every number 100% correct. The key is therefore ensuring you do not spend too long on any single calculation. If you are struggling with a solution, then make a sensible assumption. If you're not able to solve now, assume something, make an assumption which is sensible, okay? Make it and state it and move on. If you can't solve it, it's better to assume something and then solve it, so that at least the follow-on marks can be given to you. You do not lose the entire marks allocated for that question. Okay, so that is the advice on developing efficient numerical analysis. Any doubts so far? Anything that you're not able to understand? All right, perfect. Then comes effective writing and presentation. Extremely important, and you should be observant of this right from day one. Okay, effective writing and presentation. I'm telling you, if your answers are well written now, even the examiner feels interested to read it. If you write in a jeopardy, he will not read it also. So written answers should be presented so that the marker can clearly see the points. When I was reading one of the sample answers of March 2024 attempt, I showed you, they have written in small, small paragraphs. There was a reason why I said that. Because when you write in small paragraphs, just consider two cases. One, a long paragraph, same things that you've written here, one very long paragraph, same thing here, but then short, short paragraphs, each paragraph covering one unique point in it. As a reader, forget exam and everything. As a reader, what would you prefer? One long, very long paragraph, or small, small paragraphs covering unique points? Which one would you prefer? Option A or option B? Small paragraphs or one long paragraph? Small, small paragraphs, correct? Because I'll tell you why. Now think from the examiner's perspective. He has to give you 3 marks. And I showed you a marking scheme also, that if you have covered X in your answer, give him 1 mark. If you have covered Y in the answer, give him 1 mark. If you have covered Z in the answer, give him 1 mark. So if he sees those 3 paragraphs and your points get covered in them, he will award you marks. He will be able to see that this point is covered in this small paragraph, I'll give him this 1 mark. This point is covered in the next paragraph, I'll give him the other mark. It becomes easy for the examiner to give you marks when you have written in small, small paragraphs, because he is able to see what you have written. If you write long paragraphs, the points will get, missing. They'll go missing in the long statements. Okay, so written answers should be presented so that markers can clearly see the point you are making, presented in the format specified in the question. The skill is to provide efficient written answers with sufficient breadth of points. That means you are giving sufficient details that answer the question in the right depth in the time available. Now, when I say write good answers, doesn't mean you start spending all the time of your life on that. You have limited time, remember. You have 3 hours only to write in the exam. So make sure you are writing in that much time. As I said, 1.8 minute per mark. So if it's a 5 mark question, you just have to give 9 minutes to it. Okay, so that is how you need to progress. Don't start giving excess time because you have to write long answers. See how much time you have, divided by the remaining number of marks, and write your answers. Okay, so advice on developing efficient writing and presentation. Step 1 is use headings. Now, one step ahead. Okay, let's go. So you're writing paragraphs. Now, if you give small paragraphs, small headings to those paragraphs, now it will really, make your answer stand out. So using the headings and subheadings from your answer, I'll tell you a trick also. So for example, the question is advise whether the company should implement TQM. This is the question. Okay. What you should do is to give proper headings, copy this line, copy this requirement, advise whether the company should, copy and paste it, and write just a colon in front of the statement. Advise on whether the company should implement TQM, colon, and then you start writing the answer. You've not wasted any time. You've just copied and pasted. And you're giving, so this becomes your heading to the answer and you're writing in small paragraphs. It's really, really a game changer, I'm telling you, when you give those headings and you're not spending time on it. The best part is you just have to copy and paste it and make it in the format of an answer. If it's in the question might be in the format of a question, just change the English to make it a line of the answer and write colon in front of it, and then you start writing your main answer. It really gives an edge to the answer that you have written with proper headings. Okay, so using the headings and subheadings from your answer plan will give your answer structure, order, and logic. This will ensure your answer links back to the requirement and is clearly signposted. Give heading. Signposted means what? Examiner looks at the paragraph and understands what you have covered in that paragraph. So that is called signposting, making it easier for the marker to understand the different points you are making. Underlining your headings will also help the marker. Okay, underline it if needed. Small shortcut control you. You're writing an exam in the computer, right? So you just have to press control U, it will get underlined. So that's make use of these things, bold, underline, whatever you feel is important, you can do that. Next step is write your answer in short but full sentences. Use short, punchy sentences with the aim that every sentence should, say something different. Don't write repetitive statements. Okay, my name is Anushka. I am known by Anushka. People call me Anushka. Don't state sentences like that. Every line should be punchy. I am Anushka. I teach the PM paper. I am a CA. These are all different statements, and they are bringing out something new. They are not repetitive. So use short, punchy sentences with the aim that every sentence should say something different and generate marks. You'll not get marks for repetition or just copying pasting. Okay. So write in full sentences, ensuring your style is professional. Understand you're writing a professional paper. It's no longer a BCom or a BBA paper. So you have to write in a professional manner how, a management accountant or a financial accountant of a company would write to the CEO, CFO of the company. So you have to, as I keep telling, put yourself in the shoes of a, important decision maker in the company. Then only you'll be able to write such good answers. Okay. Then do your calculations first and explanation second. Questions often ask for an explanation with suitable calculations, such as materiality. The best approach is to prepare the calculation first. Whatever calculation is asked, do the calculation part first and then present it on the bottom half of the page of your answer or the next page. Then add the explanation before the calculation. Performing the calculation first should enable you to explain what the calculation you have done. Is it clear? Did you understand? Is it clear? Please tell me. Yes? Perfect. So with that, we have covered all the exam success skills. I'll just quickly show you what all we did under the exam success skills. So first is managing information. So you'll have a lot of information. You'll have to understand, you have to pick up the important points, maybe just note it down somewhere or copy and paste it in the main answer and delete it later. That is something that you need to do. Manage the information in the given time. That is 3 hours. Then second is correct interpretation of the requirement. And for this, I've shared that list with you. What is the question verb and how you need to answer according to it. So correct interpretation of the requirement, and the process is read the requirement first, then the exhibit, and then come back to the requirement. Okay. And then third is what you need to do. Good numerical analysis, show your workings, do simple calculations, and signpost all your workings, cross-referencing your workings. And finally, good writing style, good presentation, use headings, small paragraphs, subheadings, and write in full sentences as if you are writing as a professional, okay? And wherever required, where you need to do calculations and some explanation part both, do the calculation first and then come to the explanation part. Okay? So these are the important exam success skills that you need to be aware of. Okay? Now, one very important thing that I need to discuss with you is that you will be revising the PR kit 3 times. When you look at the, okay, have you got the books? Any one of you is having the books? I think you might not be having. So get in touch with Sandeep, okay? He will, okay, if you do not have, if you have, very good. If you do not have, get in touch with Sandeep. He will get you the books, okay? The BPP workbook and the PR kit. He will help you out. And what you need to do is, need to understand is, you will be revising the PR kit thrice. Now, when you look at the breadth of the book, it seems like, ma'am, how are we going to do that in those just 2.5 months when we are learning the concepts also and when we are solving the questions? Remember this. I'm telling you this, all of this in the first class so that you are well prepared from the next class. Is that when you do the first round of the PR kit, that will be when I give them as homework to you. Okay, I'll give you when a particular chapter is complete. Let's say chapter number 1 is complete, and I'm giving you that as a homework. When I give that as a homework, how will you solve it? Okay. In fact, few days back, I was just talking to a student and she was telling me, ma'am, when I solve the questions, it seems like everything I'm doing is wrong only. I told her, which is fine, which is very normal. When you are solving it for the first time, I'll come back to Emil now. When you're solving it for the first time, it's new to you, okay? So read it as if, and keep it in your mind that you're going to make a mistake. So what you need to do is read that question, okay? Then write your version of the answer in either Excel or a Word file. Okay, so you read the question, you write the answer, your answer in an Excel or a Word file, whatever is needed for it. And then you go and read the model answer and see whether you have done it right or not. Okay, if you have done it right, well and good. If you have not done it right, mark that question and in the answer part, highlight that part which you could not crack. Because you have your answer, right? You just match it. And I'm telling you, each and every question you'll have to solve in an Excel or a Word file. It's really, really important. Okay. So what you will do is you match the answer, model answer with your answer and see where you went wrong. Whatever is right, ignore it. Wherever you made a mistake, highlight the mistake. Okay. And then you move to the next question. What you have done, you read the question, you solved it on your own first, and then you matched your answer with the model answer. Wherever you made a mistake, you highlighted that part. Okay. In this way, this will be the first revision of the PR kit. Okay. Now, when you are doing it, sometimes you will understand why the book is right. Sometimes you will not. Okay. If you understand that the book is right, well and good. If you don't understand, I will be there to help you out. So, Milna, addressing your question, where you saw the questions which I gave as homework, wherever you get stuck, we'll be doing a lot of questions in the class. So I have a separate class question thing and I have a separate home question thing. All the PR kit questions will go as homework, okay? But wherever you get stuck, I will be there to help you out on those questions, okay? So if you understand from the book, well and good. If you do not, you come to me, ma'am, I tried this, I could not understand the book solution. Can you please help me out? I will take up that question in the class. Okay. But for that, you have to practice along with the class. Don't keep on, backlogging it. And you think that, I'll do it later, after the syllabus is over, I'll not do it now. Because what I'm expecting you to do next is, once you have practiced such questions now, for the first round, all the questions you will do like this. Second round now, time may not be sufficient to do a complete revision. So what you have to do in the second round is solve all those questions where you have highlighted your mistakes. Okay. And solve it again and see if you made the same mistake again or this time your answer was right. If your answer was right this time, it means your concepts are now clear. But if it is not, then during the second round, what you need to do is you will read the answer and then you will revisit the slide. You will revisit the deck of that particular topic and read the concept again and then again try the question. Okay, first time it is okay to make mistakes, but second time ideally you should not be making mistakes. Okay, so second time what you will do, mark the questions. If you're able to do it, you will solve the marked questions. If you're able to do it, well and good. If you're not, then what are you going to do? First of all, make a big note of it that this question I could not solve. Some sort of marking. I'm sure you're all are old enough to know how you can mark your questions. Mark your question and read the necessary topic slide, because it is possible you are not understanding the concept properly. So read the topic slide again and then solve the question once more. Okay, and then you move to the next question. That is the second revision. So what are you doing during the second revision? You are redoing the revision one wrong mistake questions, because you are correcting your mistakes now. And now again, wherever you made a mistake once again and you have highlighted those questions, very small chunk of questions will remain at that time. So example, there are 400 questions now. So out of that, some 50, 60 questions will be such, which are very difficult, and you will need to keep them for the third revision. So during that third revision, which will be just prior to the exam, you will have to redo these questions, because there are actually some questions which you feel that they're so complicated, even if I don't look at it before the exam, and if they come, I'll not be able to solve. So these will be the third round revision questions. And during the class, you will go through the notes with me. I'll be explaining them to you. And before the exam, what you'll be doing is redo all the class notes and the third revision of the PR kit questions. That is the approach to the exam that I have talked about. You have to follow it from day one, because all the markings and stuff, you will be doing it right now, not during the exam. Is it clear? Are you able to follow me? You can make small notes of this, or if needed, you can, this first lecture will anyways get uploaded on YouTube also. You can watch it again and just make notes of these things. It's a very, very important lecture, very important as an introduction as to what all things are expected out of you and what you will need to do during the next 2.5 months. Am I clear? Have you understood the 3 rounds of PR kit? First round with me as homework, marking the questions, the wrong mistake questions. Second is redoing the mistake questions. And third is redoing the mistake questions from second revision and doing the class notes again. Okay. All right. So any other concern that you have with respect to the exam in general? This now, Aaron, you'll have to check with Sandeep only. I think the digital version code is actually a part of the book only. The digital version, the code is written in the front, in the inside of the book. So I'm not sure even you'll get the digital copy first. But anyways, it takes just 3 days to get the book also. So you'll not need it this week. So if you place the order today or from tomorrow, then you will definitely get it within this week and before the next week's classes. Okay, next Saturday, Sunday, you will get the books with you. So that you can check. Okay, Aaron, as of today, it's not needed. I was just telling you to, you all keep updated. So get your books and it's fine if you get it next week. From next class onwards, lectures will be of how many hours and timing. So as I said, the usual class timings is from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And we keep a 20-minute break in between. So maybe around like 12:30, I'll give you a 20-minute break. As per the pace of the class, I'll complete whatever is the topic. I'll give you a 20-minute break. And then you can refresh like we did today. And then we'll continue till 2:30 p.m. So the usual timing will be 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. But sometimes I'll just tell you with experience, if I during the middle of the classes, like maybe when we are studying 5, 7, 8 classes down the line, if I feel that the doubts are more or the classes pace is getting a little slow due to XYZ reason, whatever it is, I might extend it till 3. So just keep that leeway with you. So mostly we'll start off with 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and I'll just keep on tracking the progress, because I also know by which class I should be covering which topic. So it will usually be from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. If I feel that the class is getting a little slow paced, I might extend the time to 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay. Any other doubts that you have? So all of you have registered yourselves, right? Till now, we'll just wrap up, Sumedha. I'm done with the introduction part. From tomorrow only, we'll start off chapter number 1. Okay. So that's all from my side. If you have doubts, no homework for today. It's chutti time, so no homework, Apurva. Enjoy it. Okay. So it was just to set the pace for you for the exam, and I hope you are able to follow me. If you ever feel that I'm talking a little faster, that you can follow, Just pause me, okay? But you'll not face that since I've been teaching for some years now. So normally now I understand what the pace the students are understanding. But for that, I would really request all of you to be participative. Keep on messaging me. It's okay. Like I really appreciate when students share their thoughts and examples and ask their questions, because then I understand that you're engrossed in the class. Otherwise, I'll feel all of you are sleeping. So just and that gives me the energy. If you are engaged, then I stay energized. Otherwise, I'll also give you a laid back lecture. So it's on in your hands how you want me to deliver the lectures to you. If you want me to be, super active, then you also be super active, right? Uh, is there any prop or material we should keep with us during the lectures? What I would suggest is good question. You can just keep an Excel or a Word file open, okay, and write it lecture number 1. Give headings in that Excel or Word file as lecture number 1. Sometimes, now mostly I'll tell you, I'll give you examples, and those examples also I'll note down. So I'll just show you a sample. Wait 1 second. So this is a random chapter that I've opened. Okay, so chapter number 4, it is chapter number 4, Excel notes. So all the questions that we're going to solve, we'll solve it like this. Tab wise, I will solve question number 1, 2, 3. It's solved like this. These are all theories. So I've just put it here. And then there is a scribble sheet. So if I'm giving you some examples now, mostly I will just note it down in the scribble sheet of that particular chapter. Okay, so sometimes the scribble sheet itself becomes very long because I have given a lot of examples. So whatever examples I'll give, I'll put it in the scribble sheet. But sometimes, like I was talking a lot of things about, how you should approach the exam, or, how many rounds of PR kit revision you need to do. All of these things now, you keep on noting them in an Excel or a Word file. Sometimes, which I am not writing, I'm just talking it out. Make notes of these. Rest assured, whatever I am writing here in the PPT or in the Excel file, that you will get. But sometimes if I'm not writing something, okay, then you can, make notes in Excel or Word. No, not necessary. If you want to write it if you're faster in writing. So now what has happened for me, I'm faster in typing rather than writing, because I type all the time. Like whether it is my work or whether it is like when I'm teaching you, I type, I don't write anymore. So if your writing speed currently is faster and you want to write it down, you're free to do that. Okay, it's your self note. If you want to note down a few things, you can just keep a copy handy. That's just for a rough notes thing. Proper answers and all you will get from me in this PDF or Excel file. But sometimes when I am giving you some examples which you feel it will be helpful for you to relate to later on, just make note of a chapter name. Okay, because in any particular class we'll be discussing any one chapter only. So give name of the chapter, lecture number, and write down the example or the point. So for example, today's class was introduction class. So you could have noted down. I am giving an example that 3 revisions of PR kit would be needed. So make those notes in whether it is a physical copy or you want to write in Excel, wherever you are comfortable with and wherever you're quick with, just do it. Okay, Shri and Sumedha, I hope you got it. So just those things which I'm not typing or I'm not showing, it will be very less anyways. But some examples I keep giving that you can note down in a copy or a Excel file. Okay, anything else that you want to ask? Perfect. Okay, then. So we'll wrap up the class for today, and then I'll see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Just be ready, and then we'll start off the syllabus with chapter number 1. Okay. Bye-bye, and take care. Thanks a lot for attending the class so patiently. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.